You get it out.
Okay, well that's DSG's
Okay.
picks. We also have some pre-match banter from Team Liquid. Let's take a listen.
Okay.
So, John, if today we give vodka, you're not gonna be mad?
No.
Game when it might be.
If you have a reason, I don't care. You better have a good reason. As long as you have a reason, it doesn't have to be Jose. It doesn't have to be a good one. You better have a reason. Is all.
My reason is gonna be I'm bi. I don't wanna fight. If we don't fight this,
Yeah, I want to fight.
Yeah,
I'm down. I'm down. I mean, they're in good spirits
All
right now.
right.
And I think it comes down. We should probably just speak on our predictions because it seems like a lot of people are confused going into this series. And I will ease your confusion just a little bit, just a bit. And I will show you guys a little bit of history in the LCS here about slow starts but strong finishes. Let's start early. 2018 summer with Cloud9.
I remember this.
10th place in week 3. Remember, week 3, 3 weeks of play.
Oh, I need to.
10th with 1 and 5. You find yourself.
I need to
second.
delete my account. I need to delete my entire channel.
There was a 10-man roster incident.
I entered my team scrim set so hard. It's
Great finish.
fine.
2022 spring. This is Evil Geniuses. This was tied for 7th. I remember this period. They were like struggling and fighting to get into playoffs. They get into playoffs. They make the lower bracket run. Bam! First place finish. The same could be said about NRG.
I made stupid fucking idiot mistakes in both games. Like, wow, whatever. I don't know.
People were already kind of looking at that roster and saying, I don't see it. Makes that lower bracket run. Finishes first place in playoffs. I'm just saying, you may have a slow start, but you may have a strong finish. That's why for me,
Game 1, I'm playing Annie,
I
and
understand that it's happened.
first 5 minutes of lane go really well, and then I just like,
13 years of
and I wanted to
LCS,
fight Top Scuttle,
and there's been far like
but we
usually
were
the
late to
7th
it
place team
somehow.
doesn't finish well, right?
And we didn't end up fighting the Top Scuttle because like we had like first support move, so I was like we can fight Top Scuttle, and then we didn't. And then I just like don't have fucking object permanence, so it's like yes, obviously if our support is opening mid and their support opens bot, and then their support sees our support mid, they're gonna roam mid, like fucking no shit. But then I'm just like I just don't have object permanence, so I just like for some reason don't even perceive Nautilus's existence. So he throws a hook at me and I have to flash, and so I just don't have flash for like the 6-minute mark to the 11-minute mark. It's like, and because I don't have flash advantage, Aurora solo kills me at like the 9 or 10-minute mark or something, and it's just I don't know. It's like
Steve has been able to pay, and there's a whole meme.
So that game was shit.
It's an old meme.
Then game 2, it's like I'm playing Galio into Smolder. I don't know like any timers that I have that I can actually play aggressively. So I'm just like winging the entire lane phase because I don't know Galio lanes.
Yeah.
Said that you trust.
And then so I'm just
I mean, I love scrimmage.
I'm like
and I'm the
fucking
only
6
one
CS a
who's
minute
been
or
hit by
some
Steve.
bullshit. Like not pressuring the Smolder at all. Smolder has stacks at 18 minutes.
Whoa! Give me that real dollar. They gave me real money.
Give me
I
that.
thought it was gonna be fake money. I'm not giving you that one.
I also trolled the entire third Drake setup. Like we were completely fine for third Drake, and then I just
I'm keeping the real ones. But Team Liquid scrim
died to it. Well, I didn't even die, but like I got chunked and lost pressure from a
Do you think the Team Liquid scrim
support roam mid that like I should have known was there.
Some of this, I'm not gonna go.
And
to
so we
jail
just
for
we just don't get
trying
third
to
dragon.
ask.
Like we don't get soul point, and then their Smolder just wins the entire game for them. And it's like I don't even know why I'm playing Galio. It's like that's not a fucking champion that I should be playing. Like, I was saying like before the scrim set started that like I wanted to early pick Orianna and Ryze because those are champions that I know how to navigate the lane phase on. Those are champions that I'm comfortable with. But then like my team is like they're saying like oh we can push your pick to 4-5. Like oh we could do like Galio flex, and it's like I'm not saying anything. Like I'm not like countering what they're saying at all. Like I should have just been like no fuck it, pick me Orianna on 1-2. I can play it. Like you know it would have been way better. Like even if they counterpicked me, it would have been way better. It's fine.
No, but like he felt like they were coming to great conclusions, and so like I'm just saying. Wait a minute.
I said 3-0. I said 3-0.
Wait a minute.
Kobe, you said 3-2?
Yeah.
Why did you say 3-2? You're not,
no,
you're not invested as you thought.
I said 3-1.
We were.
I said 3-1.
You guys don't have faith in DSG winning some games? DSG have been good.
All I'm saying, guys.
How good, Raz?
Screw Scrimbucks. Start the games.
Twitch is just not letting me run ads for some reason. I'm trying to run ads and it just won't let me. Whatever. Whatever, it's fine. I'll just try to move on. I'll just try to...
Welcome back to the LCS. It's super weak here at
The scrim
Riot
set
Games
didn't
Arena,
happen.
and it's
Nobody
tour
cares
time
about the
for
scrim
many
set. We're
of
here
our
for
remaining
LCS.
competitors. First up, Disguised have had a much stronger start than last year, but after a tough game 5
Did you catch the end of the
last week,
G2 KC
they're
game
only
too?
one
Nope, I
series
did not.
away from elimination. Their opponents, Team Liquid, returned to the stage after barely qualifying for brackets. They haven't had the performances many fans were hoping for thus far, and they've got to find their stride if they want to stay in the running. Can Team Liquid get it together, or will DSG knock them out and pull off the upset? Let's find out right now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Captain Flowers, joined by
Oh, but like, why am I playing Annie into Aurora also?
is done till spring.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy,
lot of
actually.
pressure.
Now that you say it, I also want to know if we're like trying to pass off fake money as real money in the
We
lounge.
should
What's
probably
going on with
not
that?
be doing that. It is. Look, I am going to go ahead and say we are not trying to do that for anybody watching at all.
Yeah, cover our bases. I like how you think. But in looking at these two teams, the big thing to me and the kind of surprise in all of the analysts, especially Raz's prediction, is how confident they are in Team Liquid. I know so many of us put them at the top of our power rankings. I do still feel like there's so much more pressure on them in this game because of the names on the roster and because of preseason expectations coming, as the lounge already pointed out, from those scrims where everyone I talked to, and I know you guys had the same result, is everyone was saying they were absolutely dominating everyone in scrims.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is, if TL lose here, though, it's kind of the same result as Summer last year, right? Where it's like they fell out, you know, you'd be 5th, 6th, and that would be a massive disappointment for this team that rebuilt, retooled, got Quid, who was kind of the hottest offseason prospect, to just have the same result.
He turned into Were Poro on the full moon.
Crazy. So yeah, the analysts are
maybe
still feeling pretty confident in Team Liquid, but I don't think they've shown us enough on stage yet to really kind of earn that confidence. So they have to be able to.
God,
show us
I'm like
today
way too much in my own head about
well
this
they can play
stupid
against
fucking
the
scrim
DSG
set. All right, let's try to ignore it and
against
look at this
Sentinels.
draft.
They've been good throughout the lock-in tournament, and now it's time to see if
Uh,
TL can really step up and become the team that we kind of all expected them to be.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this is a really, really nice pickup coming out of first pick for DSG, taking away the rise from Quid. I feel like when TL have been using Quid's playmaking or kind of going for set plays, a lot of it has
like the
been
main issue isn't even that
this
like
prospect. They seem to
I
have
fucked up the
had
scrim
a
set.
lot more success in terms of
Like the main
moving
thing is that
around
it's like I want to
with the
review
rise.
it
He gives
like
you
right
such
now.
easy
Like
access
I want to
side lanes. So
pull open
really
the
nice
games and
pickup
like watch
coming
myself
out
playing
of
like
TL,
shit so that way I can
coming out
see
of
like
DSG.
exactly what I did
Yeah,
wrong and
absolutely
like where I
agree.
could
It's also
have
gonna
gone
be tough for
better.
Calmy, and I think Calmy has
But it's
some
just
pretty
like I
rough
just like can't get
games
any
against
closure on the games that I
Sentinels.
play
A number of
because
the DSG players
I
did,
have to
be
do the
frank,
LCS
have
coach stream
games
so
that were
I can't
below their
even look at the
expected
VODs right now.
Lions had a really shocking series. Kryra had some moments that really did not go well. So I think there is also this question for DSG. It's like, can you shake that off? Can you kind of, you know, have that goldfish memory, forget about the last series, just go back to playing how you had been playing prior to that series? Because there were definitely some tough moments in it for a number of these players. But I will say Castle was a big standout. He was playing really, really well. I think Sajed has been fantastic, and they're going to lock in the Nami Corki, a really powerful bot lane duo here for Sajed and Lions. So we'll
Who's
see
your
how they
favorite
perform
LCS
on
team
that.
at the moment?
Yeah, and
It's
as we see on the
Disguised.
TL side, them
We're
locking
really
in
hoping Disguised
Nora
wins
and
today.
Nico, another
If Disguised starts
really
winning, I'll be able to
strong,
take my
bot
mind off of the scrim.
GP2 coming out here for TL, and I think.
But man, if I
TL
int my
has
team
been
scrim
the
set
focus,
and
not
like we
just
waste an
of the
entire day
team,
of
but
practice
also
and then
the
Disguise
teams,
gets
right?
like
We saw
3-0'd or some
even in
shit,
that best
I'm
of
just gonna be
one,
depressed.
Against Dignitas, they split the map. They made it a really huge point of pressure to try to attack that TL bot lane. As we see the Ambessa coming in, most likely going to Morgan, but
Yep.
could also be going to Jose Diego.
Yeah, there's always that possibility of it being a flex. Castle's most played by a lot is the Renekton's. They're going to ban that away, which does also lead me to believe that it's going to be Ambessa top. You're trying to deny some of these more difficult matchups here. But DSG, obviously, going to be
I think I
pretty
forgot
happy,
to do
not only
my
to get first pick, but they
LCS
have full
fantasy
counterpick of
picks.
what we're expecting the bot lane to be.
Wait, no. I
could
did them. I did them, I
potentially
think.
take
Let me check.
That's the full bot lane, so they had the answer there. They have the priority mid pick. And still respect, though, from DSG that it could actually be a jungle Ambessa because they're fanning out the Gwen.
Yeah, and I mean, kind of covering all of your bases also could be something to set up for.
Yep. Okay. So this series is important because I have Castle, Kryra, Jet, and Ido on my team. So if Disguised lose, then we're cooked. We're cooked in fantasy for this
Sorry,
week.
I got distracted. As the Jace ban coming out against DSG as well by TL.
Yeah, Castle is one of these guys.
I'm sorry. I think this coach room is gonna be dog shit. Like I'm just like not in the right mindset to like think about the game or like think about draft or anything.
Which I do think is why we're having some more of these top lane protection bans coming out there. And if you're going to be taken away, has become kind of the de facto answer.
Has Yon been
to
super
Rise
good?
these days.
Nope.
Competitive is really
TL have
really
been kind of
popular
shit so far.
around the world. Had been more Casio that people had been looking towards, but I feel like people just got so used to that matchup and were able to pretty easily respond to it.
Like
Just
they
with
fell
rushing
all the way
out of the Casio
out
menu,
of
whereas
the
mid
Swiss
is really
stage.
difficult to deal with.
Like I think they went like 1-3 in Swiss or something. And then they had to do like a tiebreaker game against Dignitas. And Dignitas had like a really commanding position in that game before they just threw. So like there was a very real chance that TL didn't even make playoffs.
And this could be the first Talia for Quid so far this year. Of course, they haven't played that many games, so not a big deal, and is one of his most played all time.
I was gonna say, when I used to think of Quid and River working together on 100 Thieves, they ran the Talia in both positions actually, but they also ran that Talia Vi so much. So we know how powerful Quid can be on this pick. As we see the meatball machine, as Clayton was calling him last week, the Scion locked in as that frontliner for DSG. Yes, exactly. That's what it was.
All right, so we'll get the Scion, we'll get the Wukong right next to it there in the jungle. So there's your front line on the side of DSG. Meanwhile, for Team Liquid, the last pick coming through here. What is it going to be to round out this roster? Let's see.
Up, and Trundle is going to be locked in as that final pick for Jose. Really interesting.
By the way, for
pickup,
anybody
not
who's coming
something
here
we've
from
seen him
LEC,
play yet thus far,
who doesn't know these
this year.
teams, Disguised is like
Yeah, I mean, I
it's
think
they're
Trundle
like
is
the
extremely
NA
strong
equivalent of
from the sides,
Navi.
and
They're
you
like
just get
a
ridiculous amount of value from this
they're
pick
like a not
because
as good
you are
Navi,
reaching
but they play a
resistances,
very
watching the
similar
percentage of
style.
health and just chunking them instantly with that.
Yeah.
And it can kind of turn Trundle, you know, into a super tank himself, right? Like you can become very difficult to knock down. So I love it. The pillar also has great interactions, you know, with the Silent ulti. You can block out that Silent ultimate, no problem with that. I do think it's a really, really powerful pick for a lot of different reasons. I also love Trundle into squishy champions like Nami without a dash. You just throw down the pillar behind them. That can make it incredibly difficult, easy to set up for seismic shoves, for public executions, for these types of skill shots to come through.
And talking about the Scion as just being this premier tank, Trundle being able to shut that down, being able to create the opportunity to punch through that brick wall on the front line, I think is so important. I especially think it's really important when you're having to deal with the Wukong also right next to him, who's going to be jumping in, trying to create a lot of disruption himself. So excited to see what we get here in this first one as we're loading onto the Rift for the first time in this best of 5. Remember, this is for the life of both teams. If you lose here, you are eliminated. We will not see you again until spring. Do or die, leave it all on the stage.
Stakes are high for both of these squads, and Jan unfortunately had to pause immediately when we got into game. So hopefully, hopefully it will be a quick pause so we can get things sorted out here quickly. We'll let you know as soon as we do find out any details on that pause. But yeah, both teams, their life on
Wow,
the
Jose's got a
line here in
massive
the
mouse
walk-in
pad.
tournament.
What the heck?
Of course, you know, have some work to do if they want to make it all the way to the first stand. Poro told me that was his goal, and he's like, yeah, we've lost more games than we were hoping. We started in the lower bracket, but we're not out yet. We can still make the first stand. That's our goal. So the path at which they take is less important. Looks like we are on pause, so things should be good, and we should be able to get this one underway. Gonna be an exciting one here. Jan on that Yunara, something that I think he can really excel on. Yeah. And something that he's gonna have to excel on to be able to punch through the front line.
Yeah, when we were talking about this pick first coming
God,
out,
I feel so
especially
shit.
the
I just want to
first
sleep.
win on it, I think, of any
Basically, like the
major,
instant the series ends, I'm just gonna go to
region
bed.
competitor, just because,
Or maybe I'll watch the
of
VODs from the
they had
scrim
lost
first,
in
and then I'll
every
go to
other
bed.
region, so we kind of dubbed it the Yanara when he first started playing it last year.
All right, runes showing up on your screen right here. Everything seems pretty.
I mean, like, if they
not
only
super
if this
surprised
ends
at
up being
pretty
a
much
3-0,
any of this. Core JJ
then
and
I'll
Jan,
pull up
double Yanaras
Yeah.
down here in the bottom
scrim
lane. We'll see how much
replays
control they
on
can
my
get early.
stream,
We
and we'll look
know
at my
that
gameplay.
Yunara is a very, very scary
So that way
champion,
we can
level
see
1,
everything
she's
that I was
allowed to
doing
stack
wrong.
up the queue, can force pretty much anybody else back, but
I'll just humiliate
Jet Lions
myself live
should
on
just be
stream.
fine.
Yeah, and I think the big thing that we should be looking at, again, for TL is this bot lane, because I feel like they were such a stellar point for TL. Last year, we talked about how Jan was the best ADC in the entire LTA at the time. And in the 2v2 meta, I was really, really expecting TL to kind of have a stranglehold on a lot of these 2v2 matchups. And I feel like they've slightly underperformed compared to my expectations, but I also do feel like a lot of teams have been targeting them, as we see them already getting the flash out of Sajed.
Yeah, Sajed kind of just overstaying there. TL got 2 first, and Sajed clearly wanted to try to fight for it a little bit more. Ends up losing his flash right off the back of that, so that already is a nice advantage. Especially, you know, as we said, Trundle can take advantage if you're missing that flash, if you're overextended. Sure, you have Valk, but he just really has to hold the pillar until you Valkyrie, and then you're pretty cooked.
And both junglers are on the bottom half of the map now, so Jose Diodo with the control over bottom lane that his bot duo has.
Imagine rooting
should be
for a
able to
thing
have
called
control over that
T-Law,
crowd very
yeah.
easily as well, you would have to think. Or maybe if there's the opportunity to punish that flash like we're talking about, there's even more playmaking there.
Is this an elimination series?
All
Yes,
the
it
way
is.
boosted
Yeah.
up to Turret, doing a really, really good job of completely taking over the push on this bot side, and really, really nice looking for this TL bot lane thus far.
Castle's having a great time up here in the top side, getting that one shoved in.
What happened to
onto
TL?
Sion.
They got sponsored by
bit of a few minions,
Alienware.
but really
That's what
nothing
happened.
Crazy in any one lane here just yet. Jose Diodo is going to make his way towards that bottom side crab, exactly as I was expecting. And you can see the pathing from Kryra just heading towards the top side river, knowing there's not really a way to contest down here for this bottom one.
This isn't a C9 game. We're not going to see the first crab battle.
I mean, especially when you have full push from TL's side, there's just not really any way for Kryra to contest that. And you have that strong side on top right now, as Castle has been laning well. I talked about it a little bit during Champ Select, but I think he has been fantastic for the team. Really was a good performer in their 5-game series. Got a lot of attention for the Nasus, but was great, I think, pretty much across the board in that series, and is going to have to also show up here today. Morgan was a guy who received so much hype, I think, coming into the season. A lot of players were even telling me they thought Morgan might actually be the best player on their team, even though he hadn't really been getting talked about a lot, whereas, you know, everyone really was focusing more on Quid and Jan and this sort of thing. So it's going to be a pretty heavy expectation on Morgan, and we haven't really seen that player show up that I've been hearing about from scrims yet on stage.
All right, you can see mid laners right now, Quid going back, making that first purchase, just buying a lot more mana.
I do think it would be
The
incredibly
inventory
funny if TL just
is
lose.
Just now level 5, so once we get to
Like,
level 6,
I would be down for
want
that,
to
for
see
sure.
Team Liquid also succeed in utilizing these Weaver's walls, set up plays. We're talking about Jan on the Yunara needing to stand up and be that big performer, and I think Quid being able to facilitate that with his Talia is going to be very important. We're talking about the guy who was seen as like the big piece during the offseason that so many teams were trying to fight for, and it hasn't looked as good as I think pretty much anybody was hoping so far.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, I think he's had some really good moments, but as they covered on the lounge, you know, before the day, the reality is he's had some really bad moments too that have cost him pretty heavily, and that is kind of the weird thing about TLs. You watch them individually, they all look really good. For the vast majority of the game, the team play is good, they're creating big advantages. and then the wheels just fall off, right? And they're kind of having these moments where you're like, all right, you're clearly on different pages. Jose Dioto, after one of their games, he was getting interviewed, and he was on the lounge and just talking about the fact that he felt like they were not going for plays that he would expect them to in scrims.
Ooh, nice. They get the flash out of Call Me because Jose Dioto
I think Lion has a chance against Fly tomorrow. I think Lion should be favored against Fly tomorrow.
Call Me had already got that burst of speed, and so didn't have it to try to get away from the pillar. That meant that Jose could close the distance, and as soon as the threat of the chomp for the further slow is there, the flash is forced. Nice quick move there from Jose.
Yeah, really nice and kind of a early, easy demonstration of what this Trundle can do, playing off of his lanes and kind of playing around this push that Quid's Talia has already been able to create. And we'll see, because as you were pointing out, Isaac, already, it hasn't been a lot of
right side.
individual
disguise
mistakes
draft
as
way
much
more.
as it's been, okay, what is the team play looking like? What are these, especially like in mid-game skirmishes?
Oh, that's it. They're like
kind
getting
of
gapped
looking
early
like?
game.
And that's where I really do want to see Quid
So we'll have to
making
see,
plays
but-
with this Talia, easy access to side lanes, right?
I don't think
kind
Disguise
of
can fight this
moving
grab at all.
around the map,
Looks pretty in.
Hold on now. There's your Weaver's Wall. Also, Realm Warp going to bring DSG to the mix here, too. Team Liquid backing away, trying to secure control over the crab. Sajed off to the side, wants to get a little bit of damage here. Some burst out into Jose Dioto, but he drops the subjugate to keep himself alive for now. Both junglers going to be taken out of the equation, and now a flash over the wall
Could
from
have been worse.
Nami.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, sure. If Disguise won that crab, then they just like kill all four of them probably. With Wukong ult, but yeah.
And there's the extra kill, 2-1. Yeah.
Nicely played there by Core at the end to grab that extra kill, but honestly, not that bad for DSG considering they didn't get the crab. So Jose had 6. Generally, that means the fight is going to be a disaster, but Sajed had some really nice positioning, kind of wrapped around the backside, was getting a ton of damage down, and that's what prompted Kryra to fly in, getting Sajed that first blood. Kryra had been kind of
Is crab super
harassing
important
Jose
now?
in the
Yeah,
rush
third
here.
crab is
as we see,
probably the
crab
most
fight
important thing that
begin.
exists
I really like
pre
how
10 minutes.
both mid laners actually end up trying to go. Only the clone gets trapped by that pillar, so then we see Sajed kind of wrapping around on the Corki, and he's able to get so much damage in along with the Nami bubble to kind of stun up Jose. And then this is just a really nice play off the back, recognizing Call Me does not have flash. Core JJ immediately goes in, lands the root, and that kill goes over to Quid.
Yeah, well played. You can see good CC chain as well, though, from the DSG side to be able to take down the Trundle. It's Room Prison and the Nami bubble. Sajed is behind him. I thought they played that quite well. It definitely could have gone a lot worse given the scenario, but at the end of the day, Yan and Quid both get a kill. Sajed, though, showing off that level 6, the power of the Nami and the Corki.
Yeah.
Extremely high burst. And then you look at his inventory, you're like, well, surely he has some big damage. He's got a ruby crystal in his ear and some boots.
It's like,
Gotta watch out for that. I also want to talk a little bit about Lions, right? Because I thought he had his absolute worst series he's had in their series against Sentinels, as we see potential scuffle over this red buff.
big invade coming out from
Yeah.
DSG here as they want to fight Jose for the Team Liquid red buff, and it looks like Team Liquid is just going to decide, okay, we don't want to fight for this. It's too big of a risk. DSG brought a whole lot of bodies here, and they're going to get the red buff for it. Morgan goes for the public execution there onto Castle, finds some quick snappy trades, but honestly not a whole ton of damage.
Yeah, and I like how they played immediately, DSG rather, how they played immediately off of that bot side pressure, right? They recognized, okay, we can go in for this invade. Some of DSG's invades have been, let's just say, highly optimistic in some of their previous series. But I like that one because of how much damage Sajed was able to get down in that bot lane, and then recognizing that they could go in immediately for that. I'll go back to what I was saying about Lions really quickly, in that we're looking for kind of a redemption series from him, and that early skirmish is already a really nice sign with the Nami bubble doing a lot of work there.
Right there, you can see Team Liquid looking to see if
him.
Yeah.
maybe they could catch the fish out of
I'm
water.
such a curse. It's very unlucky.
Well, he does survive, so curse averted for now. But it's pretty hard to go deathless on Nami, so maybe it's just lingering. It'll come back to get him later.
Well, let's see as we continue to have junglers maintaining their presence in this bottom side of the map. Kryra's going to go ahead and start up that first Drake. Not a particularly fast first Drake in this first game. 9.5 minutes on the clock. Call Me is going to walk over and assist Kryra with a little bit more damage. Lions and Sajed also, considering they have the push in the bottom lane, this should be an easy objective secure for DSG.
Yeah, gonna be able to grab that no problem. And one of the things I talked to Ido about before the year started was, he's like, hey, we have all these players who don't have a tremendous amount of experience. You know, actually going into the series last week, 4 out of the 5 of their players have never played a playoff game.
Okay, we've got ourselves a Realm Warp, and they want to
Yeah,
make the
Wukong, well, let's see
4v2
it.
dive as the wave
Talia
comes
can ult
crashing
in.
Tier 1 turret. There's your
Honestly, it
target.
looks
Pop
like...
also
Okay,
from
never mind.
JJ tries to defend.
I was gonna say
There's
maybe it
just
looked playable
too
for
many
TL for a
enemies.
second, but
Disguise
not even close.
brought
Alright.
everybody they needed. They get both
Good play,
kills to get
Disguise.
everybody out.
And I love that from DSG. We were talking about how we wanted to see
Gaming.
Quid make some plays in the sideline. Great use of the Realm Warp coming out.
God,
of
I can't get that
Aldi,
stupid
who, again,
fucking
we were
scrim set
talking
out of my
about
head,
him
man.
Potentially having a redemption series, right?
How do I move on?
Teleporting
How do I move
both
on?
him
Somebody
and
help me. How do
Kyra
you...
Just as the wave comes up, and even though Core does get that pop blossom on
How
the
do you
back
move
half of
on
that,
from
it's kind of
tragedies?
already over. I love how they synced that up with as the wave was crashing into turret, right? Really, really nicely done out of Disguise.
Think about how wet water is.
Yodo just going to go ahead and
True.
pick up the Void Grubs. Unfortunately, not nearly the
Water's
the
pretty
fun
wet. I've always
objective
been a
that it
water
was
is
to
wet
take in the previous season.
believer.
Not nearly as powerful as it used to
Think
be.
about the fact that
but
something
still
called
gonna set
T-Law is
them
about to
up.
lose the
Maybe they can
game.
get some dividends from this if Morgan's able to maintain
Yeah, but I thought the
Make
same
some
thing about
moves.
Sentinels, and then Sentinels
So
just
this
like
is
managed to win the
preseason
series
power rankings to
somehow,
the
and it's
end of
like
Swiss standings.
nothing's
So
gonna
we
go
can
my
see
way
TL
today. It's all
was
gonna be
kind of
terrible.
de facto
These guys are
first
gonna find
place
some
team
way to
as soon as
throw.
they
Like it is
flash
what it
in.
is.
Yeah, Jan is taking a whole lot of damage here, and now more follow-up onto Core JJ, who's got to try to get away. He's already used the clone. The rocket
Pretty good
forces the
trade
flash
from Corki,
there
though.
too, as Team Liquid's bottom lane duo is continuing to feel the pressure from Sajed and Lions.
Yeah, what a great showing thus far from this disguised bot lane, really recognizing when they can apply pressure, and now they have complete control over this bot side, and Sajed is up almost 1k over his lane opponent in Yan.
Yeah, he's doing great. Did cost him his flash, but we'll see if that gets punished or not. He's now also done the Triforce, so on a pretty big spike here. But to touch again on those power rankings, the preseason power rankings had TL in first. That was our aggregated power rankings in the LCS, and DSG was aggregate last, right? So DSG ended up way overperforming, I think,
On a
people's
molecular
expectations,
level. Yeah,
especially
because like it's like
talking to Ido, the whole team was supposed to be basically built around
the entire
Kyra,
point of a
and
liquid
half
is that it's
at
like
the start.
molecules
They
are
played with Kizno, who
covering
they had
other
played 3
molecules. Like
total
they're
scrims
like
with 3 games.
on
That's
top,
the
kind of like a
totality
they
of
like
his
blanket around each
experience
other.
in LCS
Which is the
scrims,
definition
and
of
we
being
did
wet, right?
great. So
Is like
TSG
if
just
the
kinda
water
has been this
molecules are
Cinderella
coating
story,
something, then
and the
that thing is
question
wet.
you know, has the clock struck 10? Like, is it over?
So like all of the water
Or will you have that
molecules are
kind of
making all the
continuation?
other water molecules wet
Lions
by
takes
that
a
definition.
bit of burst down here, but Jose Diodo can't really find any opportunities to make any big plays. And now, with Jose being in the bot lane, Kryra's going to take the opportunity, invade the Team Liquid jungle, steal away the blue.
What's the smallest animal you'd lose a fight to? I'd probably lose a fight to a box
steal some
jellyfish.
jungle camps on this top side. But I love what you're saying about disguised Azale, just because like they were scrimming with Kryra on a higher ping for most of it, and they still managed to take a series with Kizno up.
Ooh, nice seismic shove there from Quid. Going to force Call Me down way lower on the health bar than he expected to be. Just catches him right there at the very edge of the turret range.
Yeah, I think Call Me just really wanted to stop that base and, you know, got a bit greedy for it. Was hoping he could step in, maybe make him cancel the base, avoid the seismic shove. But at the end of the day, doesn't
That
matter
last one.
too much.
That last part tripped him up a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. The best of intentions. The worst of execution. My League of Legends story.
No! Wait, that title actually goes pretty hard, not gonna lie.
Both junglers up here in the top side of the map now. Jose Diodo seeing if there's anything he can find, as Kryra is still ahead in the jungle. First items fully complete for both of these guys. Sundered Sky versus the Trinity Force. Wukong, so much burst once that Triforce is completed. This guy is very, very scary, and Team Liquid is going to have to give him plenty of respect. Considering Disguised is up 1,500.
Nah, but I deserve to have my coaching rights stripped. I should just like quit the team, to be honest.
Yeah, and the two Triforces, hand in hand, they should be in a really good spot for any skirmishes that happen. And I just love how, honestly, Disguised have been playing with this bot lane thus far. Like, now they're moving them over towards that top side, try to get some damage there. Up.
Ooh, public execution. Calmy's in a lot of danger. Morgan goes after him though, but the Realm Warp defensively keeps the mid laner for DSG alive.
Yeah, gonna be able to stay alive there. And honestly, a little bit surprised to see Sundered Sky as the first item coming through here for the Trundle. In pro play, I sanity checked myself, but 96% of the time that is the item purchased. So, you know, we'll see if he is going to go into like a later Triforce or something a bit more weird. But obviously, Sundered Sky does have some sustain on it. Like that's a main kind of advantage, is that if you are able to get autos out on a bunch of different people, you have some more healing. But Trundle just works so well with Triforce. Like it's just so.
Is glue a liquid?
Really
Are we sure?
Swing and a miss, tries to get a bit tricky.
But yeah, I completely agree with you. Triforce just feels like it's such a good Trundle item, so we'll see.
Like, there's definitely some glue that are solids. Like, glue sticks are solid, you know?
Sky top lane Scuttle Crab secured here by Team Liquid. They have control over the area. They're still looking over at Calmy. They know the Rise no longer has the Realm Warp to try to maneuver out of a bad position that he might find himself in. So Jed just has to be a little respectful here of Quid on the Talia. He does have the Seraph's Embrace.
My ads are about to run, by the way. I don't think anything's gonna happen here since they're, like, splitting objectives, but I tried to run ads before the game started, and Twitch just wouldn't let me, so there's no choice. Like, they have to run now. It is what it is.
No danger, but Team Liquid just going to turn their attention back over to the Herald. Where do we want to see them use this?
I mean, I would have said to try to set up for Drake, but that's not going to happen. Is they're trying to make a play on the Calmy on this top side, but that's not really going to go anywhere. I mean, I still, like, the default is to always use it mid, right? Just because mid turret is the most important, like, early tier 1 turret. I think that's pretty inarguable, and my, like, ideal setup is always right before Drake if you time it, right? And then you get mid prio, you move in, you immediately continue Drake stacking.
Toxic Yuri or Hope Core Yaoi.
You know, trade of objectives with DSG being able to get that Drake already, and then TL picking it up. Picking up the Herald. But that's
Can I choose Hope Core Yuri?
Because I just think
is
it
that an
opens
option?
up the map so much for you. And we talk about this again, Talia, easy access to side lanes. You want to be roaming around. You want to be able to apply map pressure wherever you are. Taking down the mid tier 1 always helps with that.
Yeah, it has been a bit of a slow burn game, but I mean, DSG has a slight gold advantage. They have.
Okay, so Jed is inting. Alright, unlucky.
Lines it up and they knock it down. Kill credit goes over to Yawn as well with a nice seismic shove into Kryra right after. They're looking for more, but they don't have enough damage to kill the Wukong here too. Team Liquid getting Yawn paid, catching back up, now overtaking Sajet in terms of individual gold. And they'll be able to summon the Rift Herald up mid. And Kryra's about to drop to Hosedioto. The Sundered Sky is plenty enough. Trinity Force not required. And there goes the enemy jungler as well. This has been such a massive swing for TL.
Well, that's tough. We were winning and then we weren't. Unfortunate. It is what it is. Nothing can go my way today. It's just meant to be a bad day.
Kind of just some unforced errors, almost. I mean, Sajet had no Valk, right? Because he used it aggressively, but he did have his flash, didn't use it. Then Kryra.
How's Jose looking? Not
doesn't use his flash either. He
particularly good.
And it does feel like.
I mean, I hear that TL are supposed to be scrim beasts, but on stage they've been playing pretty poorly.
Earlier as those big individual gold leads, nearly 1,000 gold ahead each. And then, yeah, the aggressive Valks, you love to see them when they result in those big bursty trades in lane when the Corki is able to have that priority, that control. But then he gets a little too aggressive. He gets a little overconfident. And Team Liquid are fast to punish. Now Sajet in danger once again. Flash, pop, blossom from Core JJ. Not going to find
it. Okay.
Beautiful follow-up coming in from Lions. But now DSG, where are they going to go from here?
Gaming a little bit.
Has to flash away. Castle and Morgan both going to arrive. Meanwhile, the bottom lane turret falls with the tier 1. Team Liquid is just going to lose.
It's so sad that like that singular play just gave Yana a gold lead. Sajeb is up like 1.2k.
Off the bottom lane there from DSG, but as you called out, great bubble from Lions to be able to set that up as Core was trying to get out to safety after the failed engage.
Yeah, it's nice to see, again, a little bit more redemption from Lions coming out here. They land the pillar onto Sajed. Sajed is able to get
because like here's the problem with the Toxic
really,
Yuri versus
really
Hope Core
nice.
Yaoi
It looks like a double
question, right? Is that it's like
because of the Nico clone.
I prefer Yuri, but the issue is that it's like
out of the back half of that
I'm not a big fan of Toxic Yuri. Like if you had said like Doomed Yuri, then that's like an instant lock, you know. But
with something you said on the dive, Azale, with him actually performing. It does occasionally. Occasionally.
Toxic, I don't know.
A lot of stuff.
But I actually thought up until last week, he'd been performing pretty well. Like, he'd been really, really solid, especially in team fights. And he had a really, really, really rough series. So it's nice to see a little bit of a redemption game coming out of him thus far.
I mean, I think, you know, not even just this
You're
year.
going
I think
for
it's his
swapping
first
to
series
Kraken instead of Bork
that he's ever had.
on
it was
to
definitely a
Yunara.
bit of a shock because he had been performing really well for the team. Had looked like he was on
I don't know.
point. So
I
Jet, pretty far
don't
up.
remember them ever going Bork, to be honest.
Again, the damage flows through, but there's not quite enough to kill him through the barrier here just yet. Jet staying alive for now, still fighting, but does finally fall. Traded for Jose Diodo. Kryra gets over the wall there with his clone, has to use that Cyclone as well.
Don't read romance.
Morgan's going to grab the tier 1 turret
Toxic
here in the top lane
lesbians
at the same time.
versus
And Team Liquid continues
wholesome
to play
gays.
aggressively around this Fed Yunara. Yon 3-1 and 2 has 2 fully completed items, working on the third. Very, very scary.
Yeah, and it's really nice to see, again, the pillar usage coming out of Jose, I think, has been
And I'm saying
really
it's tough
good,
because, like,
with TL
obviously
trying to
lesbians are
chain
better than
all of
gays.
this
Like, we all know this,
CC.
but
And Yon, again, we've talked about how strong he can be on this Yunara, was put down early by disguised bot lane, but it's really coming back, and now every time DSG try to make especially Sajed, some sort of aggressive move. TL
what
has
about
been on
hetero
I just love
visibility?
the
Ah,
ambition
yes,
from
I
here
care
for
about
Jose. He went
hetero
3 points Q into
visibility,
5 points
surely.
W, so additional move speed. Then he has a dead man's. He's just so fast.
Okay, Castle trying to frontline here as Morgan flies into the back.
Okay, the Embezzle was kind of troll. This is a good start for Disguise.
Get chunked down very, very low here. The Scion, obviously the tankier one. As Morgan
I feel like it's just like an awkward timer because they don't have Wukong ult. If they had Wukong ult, this dragon would be so free.
If DSG can secure the Drake. Slam not going to do a whole lot. A nice follow-up seismic shove coming out from Quid, forces Castle to flash away. Dragon down to about 40% HP. DSG still looking to take the objective as Kryra has to force Morgan back away. Team Liquid carries under a little bit of pressure. Castle about to die. Jose Diodo going to grab the kill on that one as Lions is burning so very low, but he's not quite dead here yet. Castle still trying to make a little bit more space.
Yeah, start.
But Team
Like, if
Liquid
they have
will take
Wukong
the
ult,
fight,
it's
will
really
take the
easy for
Drake,
them to
and they'll
turn. So, like, if they can
stop
stall for that,
DSG
then it's good,
And
but
all throughout that team fight, you could see
TL played
even
it
with a few
fast
TL
enough.
players getting a little low, they were able to blow so many flashes off of DSG. DSG, as soon as it seemed like one member saw an angle, they ended up having to back off because all of the damage coming out of TL.
And it kind of all
games
came
like
down
your
to
favorite
Castle
Yuri,
getting
doomed as
caught
fuck.
on that
See, but this
top
is what I'm
lane.
saying, is that it's like, I like doomed
Seismic
Yuri.
shot,
I'm
he's
just not a big
low.
toxic
And then you
Yuri
look on
person.
the other side of the map, and it's a completely different story. Morgan is threatening here. The battle lines completely break for DSG. Lions is kind of caught awkwardly, just trying to
Like,
run
run me
away in the
my
middle of the fight.
Birdie
Sajed
Wing
finds
Season
himself
2. That might be like the
Kryra
most
tries to
doomed
Morgan.
Yuri of all time, you know?
Kind of seemed like
But-
they had a bit of a different idea, whereas TL, they had this early trade of health, and you think, okay, well,
Like, it's a
surely Morgan's
banger.
gonna be less useful, but he threatens on the flank after pushing out the bot wave. The other core 4 of TL stayed together, where DSG got kind of disjointed and a little bit split up, and that cost them that third dragon.
Yeah, and going into this, the question was going to be for TL, like, how well coordinated are they thus far? If we've seen some really, really nice, like, little marks of play from them that I think make them look a little bit more unified going in than some of their previous outings.
Liquid is lurking, and Call Me is finding himself in a very compromised position. Weaver's Wall gonna chase after him. Seismic shove knocks him out of the Realm Warp, and there is no way home for the Rise now. Yawn on a killing spree. Team Liquid picks the enemy mid laner. He'll be dead for the next 45 seconds, but what's the follow-up move from there? Yawn goes forward, still has the ulti with the Arc of Ruin to try to force DSG away from the tier 1 turret. Now Castle's gonna be the target. That Scion is not as tanky as they'd want him to be. Morgan just cuts him down. Jose Diodo makes it so easy with the subjugate.
Yeah, I thought they were going to go straight to Baron.
I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, I think Disguised had the ability to win this game, but then
And we saw Morgan fully committing to that. He even looked for a flash ult on
so
the
Jed
Nami,
like went
which
for an
did
aggressive
get
trade
flash,
mid,
so
gave
that was
over
kind of
a
wasted, but
massive
again, Castle
shutdown,
goes down. Now
then
they
Wukong
will
greeted for his
return.
wolves and also
And
gave
with
over a
Fred there,
shutdown,
but
and
of
then they
course
just
we
like
know
don't have
it
lead
is
anymore, so
going
it's
to
hard.
be a bait.
Ooh, if that seismic shove would have hit Kryra, that could have been the play, or maybe they'll get it anyway. Kryra down to 20% HP, tries to use the Cyclone to get away from it, but Core JJ with a beautiful Pop Blossom stops any chance of DSG recovering there. Now with the jungler dead for the next 40 seconds, Team Liquid seriously looking at that Baron pit.
Yeah, absolutely. You see, again, the chain CC coming out of this TL comp. They're going to knock down at least the scuttle there, get full vision over the entire top side of the map here.
And I really love the interaction that they actually used to catch Kryra. So this is one of these things that you don't always think about. So the seismic shove missed, but what Jose did is he placed his pillar directly onto the Wukong to bump him into the unraveled earth.
Did you
So he
send
got
the Rise
stunned
Nigo
by
bug
the Talia
to...
E,
Yeah,
even
no, I
though
didn't,
the
I
seismic
forgot.
shove missed. just used that little boop, knocks him into the rocks, he gets stunned up, they chase him down, they knock him down, so that is very well
Who won
played
KC versus
by
G2, by the
TL,
way? I don't even know who won the
utilizing that
series.
trundle and getting a big advantage.
And now the map is completely dark for Disguised.
I watched
the
Navi
top
versus
side,
MKOI
so
and then turned off
we see
LEC.
TL
G2
kind of
2-0.
cleaning up
Oh, I see.
camps, potentially looking for more picks, pushing out this top wave.
Well, that's just what happens in
That was really
LEC
close there
playoffs.
for Kryra, as Morgan now could find himself in a bit of a tough spot. Jed with the damage over the wall, Valks forward, chasing after the Team
Dude,
Liquid
did Castle
top
just,
laner,
like,
but they
ult
don't
in
go any
2
further.
inches
They're
into a wall?
afraid of the Team Liquid counterattack.
Well, and Castle was afraid of that wall because he
Yep.
ulted straight into it. So who put that wall there? Who decided it was going to be Mountain Rift? That's some crazy TL bias from the game designer.
From the terrain
Yeah,
itself.
From the terrain.
The terrain is rooting for Team Liquid. There also could have potentially, if TL wanted to go for it, been a really dangerous wraparound there too. But no, they're kind of content to keep baiting out.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'll watch KC versus G2 at some point, because I'm trying to watch most / all of playoffs in all of the regions.
For your opponents, lurk around in the jungle, try to find a couple of picks to then continue making your big plays after that. Castle's going to be the one who has to face check things here, but man, this map is so scary.
Also, how the hell does Tapeworm have a 35 watch streak? That's crazy.
That's a free kill for the Unara, as now CoreJJ hits a 3-man pop blossom. Kryra tries to save himself, but Morgan takes him out. Castle's in the middle of everybody, as Morgan can fall back before he ends up having to give his own life. Now Castle gets knocked down. Enemy jungler, enemy support, enemy top laner, all out of
You're
the
at
picture.
42?
and
Oh,
Team
shit.
Liquid's heading to Bear.
That's crazy.
Just like you said, the way they play with Fog of War, I love whenever you see Core waiting in the bush because you know
You're at
he sees the
52?
play,
God
he's
damn.
looking for the angle. Really
You
nice
people
stuff
are
coming out of
obsessed. What the
Nico once
heck?
again.
Yeah, finds a great engage. I mean, it's Castle walking forward, but he's just not really that threatening. He's not really that tanky. No one is there with him, so he steps up, and Jose just starts slapping him. And again, Lions is kind of on the wrong spot. He was separated from the team. The team seems to be a bit disjointed on how they want to approach these fights, so he just gets chased down by Yon for free. Core finds this big pop blossom, and that feels like now the wheels have fully fallen off at this point.
Yeah, as we see them looking for Castle here, and the big thing that I want to call out again is just Core waiting here. You know he wants that engage.
That was a really
to go
nice,
in immediately.
He autoed, so he
Nico ult.
pop blossoms in the air, so it actually was perfectly timed. I thought that's what he might have done, but I didn't know that even though like the animation goes off early, it actually stuns where you land, it looked
Yeah.
like. So that was super well timed by Core. Well played.
Deep breaths, guys. Use your eyes.
Deep breaths. Got to
Yeah.
stay calm. Got to get all the way to the Nexus. Like you were talking about, Azale, CoreJJ earlier mentioning, yeah, it's not the start to the season that we wanted, but our goal is still achievable. We've just got to get there. Even this game started off.
What are those
a little
comms?
bit
It's
rough.
because,
You guys had a 1,500
TL have been playing like
lead
shit
after
on
the early
stage.
game, right? You had big advantages for Kryra and Sajed, but then Team Liquid were able to maintain their composure. They found windows where they could
So he's
punish
just
their
saying,
opponent's
like,
mistakes,
stay
and then
calm,
as soon as they got
don't
those
be stupid.
punishes, they've been snowballing it ever since.
Yeah,
Close
they've
it
had
out,
complete
that
grid
kind of
control
vibe.
ever since as well, which has been really huge for them. And now Yon is up 2K over his lead, and I think they're playing around his aggression so well with the insane amount of CC as Quick goes in.
Yeah, they're going in for the Weavers. Wall, and immediately Lions is caught. Yon finds the Arc of Ruin there onto Kryra. They want to get a second kill here if they can, but Kryra gets away for now. Calmy going to reinforce him. Meanwhile, back in the mid lane, Yon looking at Sajed. Kryra wants to go in after the Team Liquid 80 carry, but CoreJJ is there on the defense.
Unlucky from Kryra. I mean,
trying to get something, as at least Quid will fall.
they did get shutdowns. Unfortunately, one of the shutdowns went on Sion.
Morgan gets the killing spree there onto Sajed, and it's only Castle still standing on DSG. Beautiful use of the public execution to buffer through the decimating smash. Morgan guarantees the ace, and Team Liquid's looking for the end of the game.
Mbessa does not care about the towers at all, as Core is even going to be able to survive. Objective bounties are available soon. That's the cope. We're going for some bounties here.
You might need them.
Just get some of these shutdowns, pick up some towers, easy kill him Morgan for 1K, you know?
Well, the game's not
I'm
over.
tired. I
It's
didn't
still
sleep very
going.
well last night
DSG's
either.
still in there, but man,
Didn't sleep well,
10,000
played like
goals
shit in
difference. Team Liquid
scrims.
still with the Baron for another 10 seconds. The power play
Disguised
up to
is gonna
almost 3,500.
lose. Like,
This is
whatever,
looking great.
I
whatever.
always just feel like when you have the luxury,
We
of
just
having
take the
players
L
like
on the day and we
Zonius,
move on.
Seekers,
Tomorrow will be better.
GA, each one of those is one nail in the coffin, right? And
What happened?
that
Never
gets
know. I
so
just slept like
difficult
shit.
because when
It
you're
is what
behind,
it
you're
is.
always hoping
I woke
for
up
a
earlier than I
you're
wanted
always
to.
hoping for a one shot that
the
can
miracle
maybe
pick.
exactly that can maybe even out the game. But when everyone has their tools available to keep themselves alive, it gets so hard. Yon is really your only reasonable target, but trying to fight through a Trundle, through the Pop Blossom, through the Ambessa, to be able to get in on him is just almost impossible.
And they were already having issues with that going in, like the fight that led to the base break was exactly that, right? Like Kryra goes in on the Wukong, tries to get a pick onto someone, and then is immediately CC'd by the Nico. So they were already having issues with that, and now everyone has a lot more survivability.
Liquid in the enemy blue side jungle, looking to push through bottom lane now. Remember, the mid lane inhibitor is already destroyed, so TL is going to try to find opportunities to pressure here in the side lanes. You can see the wave pushing out top, but nobody's on split push duty just yet. Kryra is deep behind enemy lines. We're going for the long con here. DSG knows they have to get a pretty insane engage to have any sort of a chance at all in a competitive fight, and Kryra's the one looking to set up.
I mean, the real problem is even if he finds like a 5-man Cyclone, the damage dealers have to be there too. He's only got 2 items. He's not going to be able to do it at this point.
Okay, Quid pops his Ghost. Not going to find a whole lot of efficacy for that here just yet. Jose the Odo getting juggled around a little bit. Couple of knockups there as the Subjugate is used. Jose wants to make sure he doesn't just get randomly picked off here. So Trundle ulti off the table for a little while, but TL's not in any real danger. They continue to move around as a 5-man unit. Nobody's going to be a straggler. Nobody's going to be left on their own, and they'll just get out of the danger zone.
Yeah, I mean, it does stop a little bit of the pressure they were applying as, nope, they're going in for another play.
Yep, there it is. Pop Blossom seals Calmy's fate. Quid's going to be the one taking the kill on that as TL, after picking off the Rise, look for a little bit more. Morgan does not land the public execution that time, but it's a 5v4. Castle's in the bottom lane trying to clear out the minions, but that top wave that I mentioned earlier is just about pushed up exactly where Team Liquid wants it. They can try to force their way through the top lane tier 3 turret next.
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty low energy coast room.
The supers are going to be on the Nexus towers here pretty quickly, so DSG has to respond to that, and that is going to mean that the top lane turret is going to be completely exposed. TL though decide, you know what, we don't need to push any further. Dragon is in 25, let's reset, let's just continue stacking towards Soul. They clearly, based on those comms from Yon, don't want to take any risks. I think this is something that they realize, hey, we've thrown from these kind of situations, let's stay composed. Let's
Hey, you know what, here's the cope angle. I watched TL
just make it safe.
throw a lead of a similar scale into Nongshin at Kespa Cup, so they can throw again.
Just try our best, guys, right? Like, TL has always been an org that is very locked in. They want to win trophies. They want to be competitive. They want to go international. And now that you're on your last life, now that you've barely qualified to the bracket stage, having to play in that tiebreaker match against Dig, that it looked like that one was even dicey for a little while. They're really trying to minimize
High quality copium. Well, it was actually like a similar comp. It was Yon on Yunara and Kingen was on Sion.
Now Baron's alive here too, and DSG are trying to position in a way that they might be able to contest it.
Yeah, and we'll see. It's not looking.
And Yon was the one who threw. So that's all we need to do. Is have Yon run it down, you know.
Looking for a wraparound flank here.
Rise on Sajed, the Corki. They managed to get the pincer attack.
I mean, like, unironically, disguised carries are not weak, you know?
Kryra takes a little bit of poke there from CoreJJ. Sajed is about to die. One more auto attack would have finished him off as Yon has to flash back away now, and Morgan.
I say as Corki immediately gets one shot.
The Corki and the Wukong are both already out of the picture. CoreJJ staying alive there with the Seeker's arm guard as Calmy just barely has enough damage to finish him off.
But, like, the Corki's 4 items, the Rises,
now has to get away from the dead Sion. The Arc of Judgment is enough to slow down the
like 3 items. I guess, like, in theory, maybe they could have pumped damage in a different world.
I love how Yon was the one telling them to chill out in comms. We saw from FBI's comms what happens when the ADC is baiting out stuff. Their really beautiful coordination with the Morgan flank coming around on the Ambessa.
And that's going to be all it takes. Team Liquid, it was a bit of a rocky start, but then they turned it around in the mid-game. They played it safe. They didn't take excessive risks. They make their way to the Nexus.
Oh, that's fine.
Go up 1,
the inhib respawned.
0. Yeah, I think the inhib
respawned. It's not over.
Bruh.
I think that it still should be over.
Ain't no way. Alright.
They're going to go up 1-0.
That's
here in the
funny.
series.
I was like, wait a second, we just tapped out and I saw that Nexus, the health bar disappeared. I've been in that game before. But they do get the win at the end of the day. Great performance here from TL to kick things off, 23-8. They started down a little bit, but they were very composed. They punished DSG in that third dragon fight in particular, really navigated that well. And it was a swing of nearly 3,000 gold within, what, a minute and a half? And it felt like after that, it was TL's.
All right, Lounge, let us know what you're thinking.
Is TL back, Kobe?
TL's back, baby.
Good TL.
Bucks. The Scrim Bucks are good. Glad you got your Scrim Bucks early, chat.
I did. I've been investing in Scrim Bucks since the start of the split.
I lost mine.
You didn't sell them, right? No
Correct.
paper hands here?
Nope.
So for our Pagoda moments at the beginning of this game, if you remember back to the beginning of the game, DSG was actually in a good spot, Raz. They were winning.
Yes.
And let's take a look at how they started winning. Let me get some Fog of War going here for you.
Bro, what am I looking at?
Pushes the mid
Why am I
wave.
just okay?
So
There we go.
getting mid tempo really quickly when you have Ryze versus Talia is huge. They then use mid tempo to grab the dragon. Then he's going to go back, get it again. During this reset timer for Quid is where the game really blows open. Look at this. Right now they're behind in gold, but they go for the play. They got dragon with the realm warp. Call Me is doing so much for them as far as the tempo goes. It earned them a dragon. It earns them the bottom lane dive here. And this is where they get a huge benefit for DSG. They've got the good gold lead. Sajed down here, you see this Corki, super fed, is in a very, very good spot. And we'll see what happens to the Corki after that, though. Sajed. So you want to play around your fed Corki, right? Trinity Force, plus he's got his Manamune. So Corki's looking good. Nami's going to go for a reset. Nami's going to come join in mid lane.
All right, we're gonna watch the Jed run it down. Let's go.
Let's pause, and this was a big moment because with Fog of War, from Sajed's point of view here, why does he Valk in right now? He has his Nami coming down. He wants to play. He's super fed, so he wants to go for this chunk. He Valks in is the key moment that TL recognized, and they're going to turn the whole game around. He Valked in, so you know what? Yawn. He goes in with the ult, dash forward, hits him with the slow, into the Trundle pillar, and they get the big shutdown. Not only is that shutdown on the Corki, it is also going into the hands of Yawn, who we highlighted at the beginning of the day. This core that Team Liquid really rebuilt their roster around, got a bunch of money there, and then Team Liquid are able to win a whole bunch of fights afterwards and get a bunch of picks.
So we got a double whammy with the Pagoda moments. So guys, if you see a Pagoda moment or a Pog moment worthy play, then just spam that chat.
And also, in terms of player of the game, we have a tie.
We have a tie?
So in
Who
the
breaks the
instance of a
tie?
tie, the chat vote actually wins. So the tie is between. I need to know who the tie is between.
That's
I voted for Morgan.
Well, I voted Quid. So that's a Quid. Quid is one of them.
Core
and Quid.
My vote was a Ralph Nader vote. It doesn't matter.
That threw his vote into the...
Yeah,
I
threw
threw
that
it in
out.
the abyss, but please spam chat to see who the actual player of
That
the
couch
game
looks
is.
so
I have one more
uncomfy.
clip,
Okay.
while
I feel
chat
like
votes
all
on
of the
this that I
studio
wanted to
couches
show.
look uncomfy.
And this is why
Like,
I
the
actually
LCP
think it's
couch
not
looks
necessarily Scrimbucks paying off for Team
miserable
Liquid.
as well.
They made some nice plays around the map that allowed them to get an advantage in this game. So, like, this is an instance where they push mid, and they just start attacking top lane, but they use it to get a sequence of picks. So they pick off Call Me, and rather than just doing a 5v4 Baron flip, they then use the fog, collapse on castle, get another kill. Then again, they just use the fog, wait for them to show up, get another kill. So they just really organically extended their gold lead past just the early game. That was just one quick sequence that they had.
Yeah.
That makes me more confident for this team, because it's not like they just win every lane by 3,000 gold and therefore win the game. These are the moves that they were failing on last week.
I'm kind of
You
hungry.
do have the player of the
I
game.
probably should have gone
What
and
is
made
it?
myself
What
some
is it?
food during the
Oh,
break.
shoot,
I'm
I
interested.
jumped the gun.
Okay, well, I'm going to make a critique then. I'm going to make one critique towards DSG. Because, like, the one concern from me was that Scion pick, on 4 pick that we got to see from DSG's side. It was like, well, they already saw the Mbessa. The Mbessa was already picked. Trundle was open. Trundle was like, jungle was last pick. So you knew that you were going to get countered with both the Trundle jungle and the Mbessa that was already picked. So I just did not like the Scion in that moment. And I think you could probably just like pick the Renekton or Jace or whoever you really wanted Castle to play on 3rd pick. So I felt like from the drafting perspective, especially with how impressed we were of DSG's draft, like up until this point, that was a concern.
Okay, keep voting between Core JJ and Quid. To break the
please.
tie.
I do want to focus on the thing that you were talking about, though, and from the Team Liquid perspective, what they did improve on.
I mean, I would vote for Core for player of the game for that one.
And they recognized and punished mistakes that their opponents showed. You know, like we just saw in multiple of those replays. So I think it bodes very well for this team. As far as the results for the poll, though, and you being
It's not voting well.
being quite antsy, it's not voting well. We could just pull up chat.
Yeah.
Start counting.
You know what? Let's do it.
Pull
Let's
up
check
the
it out.
chat.
I'm interested who people are thinking.
Who is your player of the game? We've got Core and Quid.
We'll make some arguments for it, because I said Morgan, because I thought his side lane pressure was incredible. Core JJ's Nico engages to catch Sajet out multiple times. Or do you think it was Quid and his ability to roam around the map?
Yeah, I mean, Quid.
I'm seeing a lot of Core JJ in the chat.
One of the big things was the plays that I showed were some positive call me, plays at the very beginning where he actually had pressure and he was getting a lot of the positive plays to get DSG in the lead. So I think I would tie break for Core.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are also just voting Jose Ariono, even though it's
Doesn't
just
count.
a tie between
Doesn't
the two
count, guys.
players. As
Tuki,
a reminder.
Tuki.
Yeah, you're also.
Okay, Core JJ smashed it.
Yeah, Core JJ just completely took it.
Okay, congratulations to Core JJ.
Yeah.
For player of the game. Very well done, Mr.
Well done,
Core
chat.
JJ.
Well done, chat.
We're going to see if Team Liquid can continue beating DSG.
Is it just me, or is this like in between game section going on way longer than it normally does? Are they dealing with like some kind of tech pause or something?
We've got a new addition on the Rift here today. Emily, is the Telluride just the obvious pick?
Well, Flowers, we're looking at the turbo hybrid powertrain. That's already a problem for the rest of the Rift.
And a 30-inch panoramic display too? That is unfair control.
Guys, all-wheel drive with terrain mode? No shot anyone's catching this.
Yeah, this seems completely OP.
No debate. This first pick, we have to lock it in. Now!
A Kia Telluride Turbo Hybrid. Pick it before your opponents do.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Rich in the ground before Dub can even get there. In time to try to knock out as Impact gets bursted.
Don't feed.
Knocks him down.
Get fed. Scan the QR code for deals only on Uber Eats.
God, I'm so fucking hungry. But I don't know what I could make. Maybe like a bagel or something. I'm pretty sure I still have bagels, so I could do that. Aren't you craving for Goda? Nope. Yeah, I'm gonna go heat up a bagel and like actually starving.
I think because of our champion turn,
Oh, hold on. And then, guys, it's not over,
Not over, focus.
Sorry. I'm coming up.
Focus.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I have my shoes on.
Oh,
Chill out.
no.
I was putting my shoe.
Whoa.
Let me chill, man.
That was scary.
But it was.
Hey guys, I'm the AD carry for Team Liquid, Tialion, and I'm going to give you guys some good tips for Ezreal. The thing about Ezreal is, I think it's very good to take lethal tempo on Ezreal these days, especially in solo queue, where you can just stat check the enemy opponent. As soon as the minions spawn, and you get to lane, so let's say the enemy champions are here and here, you really just want to be stacking your Q. So your Q is on a 5-second cooldown, but if you land it, it'll be like on a 4.5 second, like so, and then your attack speed goes up. So right now it's already 0.90, and then around this timing, when you have 4 stacks, you really want to be fighting here. And then, let's say you land the last Q as well, right? At this point, you're gonna have at least like 1.20 like attack speed, and it's gonna be completely OP if you just fight. Not many people will know, and they'll probably fight you, and you'll probably just end up winning because of the attack speed steroid you have.
I actually love hearing from the pros when we get to see these little tips and tricks things for stuff you would never think about, because I would never think about lethal tempo on Ezreal. I barely know how to play Ezreal at all, so that's very helpful.
But now if you have to.
Now if I have to, I'm locked in. Thanks, Jan.
You'll stack lethal tempo and then lose.
Yeah, I probably still will lose, because the problem is you still got to hit the Qs.
Exactly.
That's my first big hurdle. But Team Liquid have cleared their first big hurdle in this series. They won the first game, and I think that if you're disguised heading into this second one, when you look back and say, okay, where did it go wrong? The answer is the mid lane play. Sajed Valks forward. He ends up getting punished. Team Liquid are immediately there for the consequences of that, and then Kryra dies right after. I feel like that was the point where after that, they never really had a real shot.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, the early game was fantastic for them, right? They had this almost 1K gold lead. They had the first 2 dragons. Felt like everything was going well for them, but games swing very, very quickly these days, especially with bounties and all the plate gold that you can pick up off of key kills. So it is tough. You got to be staying locked in. We heard Jan saying that even when they were up massive amount of gold, still had to lock in.
All right, Disguise have selected last pick for this second champ select. That means Team Liquid got to choose the blue side for themselves. They'll ban out the Azir, the Akali, and the Pantheon. Meanwhile, DSG taking Jarvan, Varus, and Orianna off the table.
This means that we have a standard draft, as in my brain isn't going to be trying to warp its way around.
Yeah,
like,
you don't have the bugs in there trying to figure out like what's going on. That's what it feels like. There's bugs in your brain when it doesn't have the same structure it's had for the last decade.
As we see the Vi coming out for Jose, I've liked Jose on these kind of playmakers where he can link up to his lanes. We'll see what they want to partner with it. I think her most eager kind of mid lane duo partner there has already been taken off the board in the Taliyah, as we see the Aurora locked in on the side of DSG.
I really like the Aurora here, especially for DSG, because both Castle and Calmy can play it, right? So being able to keep that flexible is quite nice.
Yep.
You know, sometimes on a team, it's like, yeah, it's a
Okay,
flex,
we're in
but
draft.
this guy's
Let's see.
Really a flex, right? Well, the Xin Zhao locked in right next to that Aurora too. So 2 scrappy junglers here in this one. Could also gank very effectively early. Ahri picked in next to the Vi.
Yeah, and this isn't necessarily something we've seen a ton in LCS, but the
To continue on the train of nothing is going right today, I accidentally fucking burned my bagel. Like it over toasted somehow. I put it on the same number that I always put it on, and it's just like burnt to all living hell. So yeah, whatever.
I'd really like to see him bring this out and play this, so we're going to be able to see that Vi-Ahri combo coming out of Quid and Jose Deodo.
Yeah, and we got to see.
Shy Chew, thanks for the prime sub.
Did not work well for them at all in that series.
That was, look, I was trying to avoid mentioning that specific Ahri outing in the LCS.
Ooh, it's going to be mid lane Aurora, because I think they're doing the Galio as the Rumble answer, but both are great matchups.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys noticed the stat that popped up when Rumble was locked in. Rumble is 1-9 in the LCS. This champion has been a total stinker so far this split, and I think a big reason is because you have stuff like Galio that you can pick into it that's just so effective.
Yeah, I kind of feel like people are looking at it, and it's been nerfed a number of times.
I mean,
over the last
what they're talking about, the main reason why Rumble hasn't been successful in LCS is because teams are either drafting Rumble and then not building a Rumble comp, or they're drafting Rumble with a Rumble comp and then not playing for the Rumble, like they're not fighting with the Rumble.
And we're also seeing too many teams where they're drafting Rumble with little to no setup, and I think that is
I was talking about it right now.
Cardinal sin. It is very difficult to get consistent equalizers if you don't have any AoE CC. you have the Viol right now, like that's something at least, but to me it's like, it's just a different pick when you have a Rel on your team or a Nautilus on your team versus when you're playing with like a Karma bot. It's just not the same at all.
Exactly. The Karma bot will not be available, unfortunately, because DSG have taken out of it. Look, Enchanters are back, Azale. You're going to have to deal. But I like the Ashe being taken off the table as well. I think Ashe Seraphine still in the right situation.
Yeah, like TL had a Rumble comp
in
an earlier series where they had like Rumble, Lee Sin, no CC on their mid, no CC on their bot, and then an Alistar. So it was like Rumble and your only CC is Alistar. And then Lion had a Rumble comp. That was a really good Rumble comp. And then they just fought like 2 different 4v4s bot side without the Rumble and then lost the game before Rumble could get involved.
No, it's not, because I have WE trauma from that. As we see the Kai'Sa locked in.
All in on Disguise.
We talked about how much he enjoys playing that pick.
I actually like TL's comp better here, by the way, so far. Like, we'll see what they go for 5, but I think TL's comp is better so far.
Super well with that.
Yep, they're just slamming it. Kalista Renata. As soon as I saw the Kalista get hovered, you to think about TL.
Yeah, I'm down for this. Nico's out. There's no support that you can pair with Kai'Sa that will
Again, they are kind of
get her through the lane. Yeah, I think TL's comp is better.
For lockdown, you do have the hostile takeover, which can be really, really good against some of the short-range champions over on this side. So can be really powerful.
However, that said, I thought Disguise comp was better last game, and they lost. So maybe I'm just stupid, and maybe maybe TL will just lose to keep up with the theme.
Yeah. And I mean, I do think his Nami game in game 1.
Why is Lions playing Bard again, by the way?
Was, you know, better than definitely his last outing. The
Bard, Bro is coming in with
that everyone was kind of looking at, being like, okay, he's having
with
a
the
really
Bard run back. Honestly, I can respect it.
This can be kind of a similar redemption for him.
I will say, you know, Bard is a pretty solid laner, so like that is maybe why they're going for it. Like, hey, let's just try to protect the Kai'Sa, you know, keep us stable in this lane. But when I think about Bard in really winning situations, I think about carries with low mobility that are easy to ult. I don't really see that as being Kalista and Ahri, right? You know, Kalista's hopping non-stop, and Ahri has dashes on the
Yeah, the TL comp looks really nice.
To me, I'm a little bit concerned about the efficacy of the Bard ults.
Really good mid-jungle pairing, really good.
Yeah, and I do one other pick.
Bot lane 2v2.
They did slam it so quickly.
Good setup for the Rumble equalizers. Good damage profile.
Going to be trying to do, right?
Does well into the enemy's carries.
Sort of engage or re-engage they're going to be making in team fights. If you can sync that up with like a really fat Rumble equalizer across the team, that could end up looking really, really good for TL.
All right, let's do it. Game number
Let's see, over on
2.
YouTube, somebody asked what my prediction for today would be.
Game number 1. We'll see if they can repeat that.
I would have said Disguise 3-2 probably.
I think in particular, talking about the bottom lanes, talking about Yawn and
but I really thought Disguise comp in game 1 was really good, and they lost anyway. So maybe TL's just in form today, and they'll just win like 3-0 or something.
Aggro was very strong. It ultimately ended up being their Achilles heel at the same time. But this bottom lane 2v2 should be pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun as we see these two trading pretty heavily. Once one starts trading, you kind of have to keep trading the autos back and forth. You don't want to give up any sort of disadvantage. And the minions spawn so early that these level 1 trades are way more impactful, right? Because you can't just take a quick base. They're both just going to be starting down a potion and about at half HP.
Yeah, and both of their junglers are starting on the top side. We'll see if... I keep hoping for this. It's even less likely now in the current meta to see someone go for like any sort of cheeky level 2 gank. I don't think the health missing for either mid laner is going to be the difference maker here. But it is always a possibility that I like to call out when stuff like this happens.
It absolutely is. Also want to talk a little bit about playoff experience between the two teams. Core, no surprise there, is going to be absolutely dominating the field as far as the experience. But, you know, 5-5-5-5-5 all down the way until Lions. That was their first playoff series for 4 out of the 5 members for DSG. They had never played a playoff game, you know, before last week. So for so many of these guys, they now at least have one under their belts. They have a little bit of that stability. Even the people that are like, oh yeah, Morgan doesn't have that much experience. Well, he still has more than the 4 out of the 5 combined.
Someone put points into TL. Wow, there's only 10 channel points on TL. Yeah, that's crazy.
Big experience advantage.
Yeah, especially coming out of, I love talking about kind of what Core has meant for this team. We saw him have an absolutely stellar game 1, but listening to players like Quid and Jose Deodo kind of coming onto the team and talking about how much Core means has been really great to listen to.
And I'm glad you bring up Quid and Jose Deodo, because Quid was giving Jose a hard time about the start of last game.
I'm not panicking. I'm just telling the facts.
I charge my mouse like once a week.
Me too. But this one was at 0.
Yeah, you panic. You charge to 51% and you randomly panic. Oh, my mouse is 20%. My mouse is 20%.
No, wait. I'll explain. The champion select went off, and I saw 1 second 22. I was like, ah, shit.
You're nervous, man.
No, I wasn't.
I love it, man. Jose Deodo not charging the mouse up enough. We'll see how much charge he's got on this one, because, hey, his team at least has total control over the bottom lane. Kalista Renata, if you're a jungler and you see that as your bot lane, you should know that you will have control over bottom side grabs.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a little bit of a different look this time coming out of TL bot lane. We've talked about how they want to play through having powerful 2v2s. We've talked already about how strong Yon was last year and having a little bit comparatively of a down split to start this split 1. But again, going to be able to get that bot side crab back, and we see him headed up towards his camps again on the top side.
Yeah, I mean, Sajed obviously had to take a pretty early base here, does get back, gets the call, but at least now he's back to full health, he has a potion, he is in base, and we'll see if they can kind of stabilize and keep this lane in this current state for a while, because Jan hasn't been able to get back to base to spend any gold, so right now, things are about as good as they're going to get for a while for that bot lane 2v2 on the side of DSG.
Both of our junglers are back on the top side of the map now. We did kind of just have the handshake for the crabs. Obviously, if you're in Kryra's position, you know that you're not going to be able to contest against the Kalista Renata that are hard slamming the lane for that crab, so you just walk up to the top side. Checking in on Morgan versus Castle. Again, the Rumble with a 10% win rate so far in this early play in LCS 2026. Morgan looking to double Rumble's wins after this one.
Yeah, we'll see if he can do it. Initially, the early push in that lane was going over to the Galio as expected, but he should be able to at least push this wave in on the top side. And we did see
flash for flash here in mid lane as Quid wants to go for the charm. Try to catch Call Me off guard, but Call Me has the fast reaction and stays safe.
Yeah, and that was set up by the earlier charm he landed, being able to get so much health off of Call Me earlier on. I really like him being able to go for that. And now we'll see if either jungler wants to take advantage of the fact that we have 2 flashless mid laners now in this lane, in this game.
I mean, especially I think, you know, when you get level 6 for Vi, you know, that is kind of that easy combo that you're going to be able to look towards. That being said, Aurora
I'm just eating a bagel right now, so
you have the invisibility,
not talking
you have your
because
ult,
there's food in my mouth.
Back and forth, and sometimes put, you know, Vi, who is ulting into a pretty bad spot. But I would expect Quid and Jose to want to group up as soon as Jose is 6. And we'll see if there's going to be a fight over this bottom side scuttle as Jose goes back to base. But assuming he gets right out and grabs that, he's going to be the one that's first to 6.
Yep, remember that the bottom side scuttle fight.
Anything on the bagel? It's a blueberry bagel with cream
was
cheese
our
on it.
Big scrap in game number 1. It was damaged to both sides. We didn't end up seeing a Drake take right after it or anything similar.
What's your favorite kind of bagel? Chocolate chip bagels.
Here. Both mid laners have their ultimates available. Kryra with the win becomes lightning, jumps in after Jose, but a lot of damage coming out from Quid. Kryra in danger. Remember, there is no ultimate here on the Xin Zhao to use defensively to try to escape. He does, however, have a lot of honey fruits there. Lions walking up through the river now too. Importantly, both mid laners using
chocolate chip bagels with regular cream cheese. That's my go-to whenever I go to like a really when I go to like a dedicated bagel shop or something.
DSG. Kryra gets it done, but TL wants to get one back. Jose Deodo, nice revenge kill, 1-for-1 trade.
Pretty good, though, honestly, for DSG. The fact that they not only get first blood, but also their AD carry did not move. So Sajed ran straight back towards bot lane. He's going to be able to get some farm here to try to even things out a little bit, which he desperately needs to do, because Jan is already 20+ CS ahead. Call Me unlikely to go down as Jan takes a couple tower shots.
Yeah, the double turret shot there really doing some serious damage to Jan's health bar. But yeah, Sajed needed that time to try to catch up. The massive gap in CS is going to start causing some serious issues if DSG does not find a way to staunch that bleeding a little.
Yeah, it's good for Sajed, but then we see Jose
has no smite.
Yeah.
Now he
There we go. Okay.
Came back up just in time. He's going to be able to get that Drake, and he was able to get the crab prior to this fight. But things get started pretty early with them trying to jump onto Call Me. Core landing the handshake here, but then, and the charm follow-up, but Kryra being able to go in and assassinate the Ahri in the back line, and then being able to clean up the kill onto the Xin Zhao.
And I mean, honestly, it could have been worse, but Lions missed the binding.
Not bad. Not bad, not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. They use flash and flash.
I mean, it's one of these things where Bard gets those fights so quickly because he has a magical journey. He gets in. Really, all he needed to do was land that heal. You know, he gets in range for the heal, is able to help keep Call Me alive. But if Core got bound under the tower, you know, he could have potentially been going down as well. So could have been even worse there for TL. But at the end of the day, they do still have this slight lead. And Jan is really most of that, as he is a couple hundred gold ahead.
And that gold lead is going to feel even better since they got the early first Drake, and it's an early Ocean Drake. Since we're still in the laning phase when that first Drake is claimed, it means you're just going to have all of the extra sustain, making those trades that much more annoying for DSG to try to contest. They are down about 20 farm in the 80 carry matchup specifically. They do have a lead for Call Me in mid lane. I'm curious how well they'll be able to play around that here with the Aurora. We know this champion can be very dangerous since she has to go in very close range to get her damage in the larger fights. We know that close range is especially dangerous against Renata as the top laners scrap back and forth a little bit here. And it looks like both of our junglers will just be passing through mid.
Yeah, we're really going to have to see how TL execute on these dives because when you
I'm gonna be honest,
you have Callista,
I really just want to sleep right now. I'm so tired.
Which can make defensive Bard ults really high value. As Jose caught on ward.
Yeah, Jose Diodo could be in some danger here. Tries to use the Vault Breaker to get away. Has to use the ulti to try to buffer through it, but it won't matter. Call Me gets the kill. Jose goes down.
That's the punish for not checking those brushes, right? He's just recalling on that ward.
But the problem is that if I go to sleep now, then I'll be tired for LCS tomorrow, you know? So it's like...
This is a comp that wants to snowball, that wants to play from ahead. You have the defensive Bard ult, you have the potential counter engage from the Aurora, you have the Galio ult. Like, there's so many tools there where if you don't one-shot someone at the start of the fight for TL, the DSG
And besides, I want to
really
watch this guy's play anyway, so...
Yeah, and that's where TL are really going to be looking at the power of this bot lane as we see Jan and Core continuing to play so aggressive. And another thing, Quid goes in.
Yeah, Quid trying to use the Spirit Rush there to grab the solo kill. Does land the charm onto Call Me. However, the heroic entrance from the Galio reinforces the DSG mid laner. Means Quid does not actually have the chance to go for the kill here. But you can see he's constantly looking for these aggressive moves on Call Me.
I mean, that's what you got to do if you're going to play Ahri. You need to play with confidence. Otherwise, there's no point in playing the champ. So he goes aggressive there. As soon as you see the Galio all come down, it gives that Galio passive magic damage shield. And he knew if he was going to kill him, it was going to be by slimmest margin. So as soon as that shield pops up, there's no way you're killing him. You just kind of have to back off. And Castle, I think, has been very good for DSG. I think he's performed really well throughout the entire lock-in tournament. And he is going to be key, even though he's on a tank, for the team in this game.
Yeah, and we've seen the power of Galio, especially being able to come in and save a teammate like we saw there, or being able to engage or re-engage a lot of these fights. And I think, yeah, Castle has kind of been, I don't know if it's unsung anymore because we've now talked about it.
He's a sung hero.
He's a sung hero.
It,
yeah. And kind of the confidence, we talked about the confidence that this DSG lineup just has in each other and being able to pull out that Nasus pick. It's also going to be on the flip side up to Morgan to see how he can contribute, especially in a lot of these early skirmishes and team fights that TL is really going to want to use to snowball.
I don't know. On the rare occasion that I make toast, I'm just a
the next one
butter
might just
person.
happen about a minute from now. That will be when the next Drake spawns. Right now, Jose Diodo hanging around the top lane. It would be risky to try to dive Castle. We'll see if they want to go for it anyway. Jose going to drop the control ward here in the brush. And it looks like they'll just start this one off. There's your Vi Wombo combo into the equalizer. No risk at all. Team Liquid are totally fine with that one. They'll pick up the freebie here in top.
Yeah, easy to execute on that dive. Jose just locks him down in the equalizer. Castle was already too low, so there's nothing to outplay. You can't flash the Vi. There's nothing you can really do in that situation. He just did not have the health to be able to actually survive through it. And as a result, now Morgan going to be, up quite a bit of experience because Castle moved mid, so he's actually 9 briefly while Morgan hits 11. Morgan's going to be able to deny more farm, and all of a sudden this couple hundred gold lead and a little bit of experience that didn't feel like it matters, now matters a lot.
And that's where we're really looking to see what TL is going to do on the map, specifically with setting up for this second Drake. Because if the Rumble is there in that fight, he's going to be incredibly powerful.
Especially with that Leandri's Torment completed, that big first item power spike for Rumble that makes him such a terror in the mid game. Kryra going to go ahead and start up this second Drake. Call Me hanging around behind the pit, just keeping an eye out for Team Liquid. Lions and Sajed also both going to rotate over here, but Core and Yawn are not willing to just let them try and do that. Lions goes for the ulti, and he finds Yawn. Now can the Team Liquid AD carry get himself away to safety? It seems he will. Also going to drag Core JJ back and guarantee that they both escape. So DSG try to get the pick there. They know they had the numbers, but they can't get the kills.
They don't get the kills, and now they're losing farm mid lane because it's actually Quid just hitting the tower. So Quid is taking plates. He's denying the farm. Kryra pulled off the dragon, so the dragon is nowhere close to dead now.
Yep, and Jose Diodo has made his way into the bottom lane. Core JJ just trying to keep the pressure onto Sajed and Lions as Kryra is forced back. As soon as Jose shows up, Kryra knows, yeah, my bottom lane's not going to be able to rotate over to this faster. Quid still has that control over the mid lane here as well. So now TL will be the ones starting up the Drake.
Yep, they're going to be able to muscle in, and again, that's where this bot lane prio and mid prio matters so much, and really nice from TL to be able to play around that after kind of that initial skirmish there. It also, if we had a big team fight, delayed the time enough for Morgan's ult to come back up too, so he could have potentially been a threat in that as well.
It's a bit scary, I think, for DSG at this moment. Now, you've given up 2 dragons, you're down in gold, and plays like that are pretty costly. So it feels like this is going to be one of these games where it's going to come down to that 3rd dragon fight. We have to see, can they do what TL did last game, where TL was basically in the inverse situation, down around 1,000 gold, gave up the first 2 dragons, but were able to outfight at one team fight, and then the game kind of flipped. And that's kind of the position we're in. But all of these champions on TL's side are really strong on one item. And I do think that's going to be one of the big difficulties here for DSG.
I think our next fight is looking like it might just be around this Rift Herald pit. That objective spawning here in less than a minute now. You can see the topside Scuttle Crab control does go over to DSG, but they're finding it difficult to move forward and set up anything else. The little Callista ghosts, so useful for sniffing around before these fights, seeing if they can find anybody out of position.
Do you think that's what they do? They're not looking around, they're sniffing?
They're sniffing.
They're sniffing?
They're like little ghost puppies.
Are they blind?
Maybe.
Well, now I don't like that they can be killed.
Oh, yeah, that does feel kind of bad now.
Yeah.
Well, no, they can't be killed because
revise that statement. Change the lore.
Ghosts.
Time to retcon.
They're already ghosts.
I don't care. No killing dogs.
All right, they're not ghost puppies, but they do sniff around for enemies. So now we'll see if they can discover disguised here in their own jungle. All right, goodbye, little ghost. Adios. Kryra's going to take that one out of commission as Yawn just continues farming up here in the mid lane. Does have his Blade of the Ruined King completed. Bandle Pipes is done on both supports here too. As Call Me trying to make sure that he stays safe here. Quid just playing so aggressive all game long so far. And now Jose Diodo wants to set it up. Go in here with the Vi. Does hit the smite onto Call Me, but does not want to overextend. Risk ulting Call Me underneath the turret, getting hit by that powerful Aurora burst and giving away a free kill.
Yeah, easily handled there by Call Me. He was not overextended. He gets the ult off of Quid, which is nice, who had popped that. So they're not a major cooldown, but only cost him a basic ability, so still going to be happy with it at the end of the day.
And it means that the Ahri will not be able to be nearly as effective if Team Liquid wants to try to fight for this Rift Herald. And so DSG is going to take their opportunity to start the objective up. You can see both top laners also posturing to get involved in this. Castle goes for the taunt, but he will not find Morgan as the Herald is down to about half health. Morgan looking for the opportunity to maybe equalize here, is overheated right now as Kryra's going to be the target, and Jose Diodo jumps in, wants to make the dive happen, flashes back over the wall to safety as Sajed is already down. Team Liquid looking for a little bit more. Yawn is very low. Will the bailout be able to save him? No. Lions takes the kill on that one, but Team Liquid still firing. Castle's next to die, but Morgan gets smited down. It's a bloodbath here for the topside river as Lions falls to Jose Diodo. Kryra goes on a magical journey through the wall. TL wants to finish the last couple of kills. Call Me flashes for nothing, and Team Liquid will take the fight.
Team Liquid take the fight. I mean, Call Me was late to join, and I kind of expected Lions just use a defensive.
Honestly, maybe the angle is that, like, now that TL have won game 1 and they're winning game 2, maybe I just...
Look for the more aggressive option, try to catch them.
Maybe I just want TL to 3-0 so I can go to sleep.
That has to be stopped from the Ahri, and that is what sealed the fate of Sajed.
Yeah, and it's going to allow TL, more importantly, to pick up this Rift Herald. That they
yeah, I mean, like, on this timer, like, on Herald fight, it's just really hard to fight against a Rumble comp like this.
This is good, this is good. You can throw me. Look, Shin no flash, Shin no flash, Shin no flash.
Galleon no flash.
Kill one. Bard no flash.
Kill Galio.
We can win, I think. Keep playing.
Xin Zhao no flash. Xin Zhao no flash. Xin Zhao no flash.
Get Frodo. No flash.
Xin Zhao no flash here.
W10.
Nice.
Good job. IB, I think we win. No flash.
Or no flash.
Nice. We got it. Oh, Kabi.
Not bad.
Good fight. Yeah, good fight there.
Nice comms. Honestly, TL, pretty clean calls there throughout the fight, tracking the summoners on the same page throughout of exactly what they wanted to do, and they just executed super well on it. It was a really snappy engage from Jose, even though Ahri didn't have ult. So Jet gets one shot, so it doesn't really matter. Just so key with the Vi Ahri combo. You cannot stop the Vi ult, so you must stop the follow-up. That is the part of the combo that you can break up. You cannot allow Charm to come through there. You know, someone's got to try to get in the way and body block that, or you have to use the really fast defensive Bard ult. Got to be able to shut that down, because now TL, with the Dragon in 30 seconds, are up 2.5K, and that lead is getting a lot bigger.
Yep, Lions has to be careful in the enemy jungle here. Tries to go on a magical journey to get away, but Morgan is still roasting him. Call Me coming in now to guarantee that his support stays alive, but they've got bigger problems.
Well,
Lyra's now going to be focused.
This looks really messy.
Galio ulti to try to create enough space to keep him alive. Hostile takeover flies out as Team Liquid.
I feel like these guys just aren't on the same page right now.
Morgan backs him up. It's a double kill for Quid as the Aurora falls.
Also, yeah, we need to retire the Lions Bard.
3 for nothing for TL, and the Dragon's going to be the immediate trophy.
And they mow down Disguised before being able to now get Soul Point on the Drake stacking, which is absolutely huge for this composition. They're also going to be able to get this tier 1 bot, and Quid on this Ahri is now a massive problem. I also really like how they're using Morgan's power in these fights as well. We wondered how much is this Rumble going to be able to contribute, looking to double up that Rumble win rate as he just gets so much damage onto Lions, follows him through the magical journey because he knows
Morgan?
that the rest of his team is collapsing.
Just look how split up they are. 2 over here. You have Call Me ulting to get over the wall to even join the fight. Kryra's basically already dead. Lions ran out the bottom. Like, they're all on a completely different page. And then we have this this Bard ult going into the background where Castle's been hostile.
Yeah, like it almost feels like Disguised are playing as if they're mental doomed.
The same thing it feels like in this fight for DSG.
Yeah, and it especially matters when Castle comes in initially, right? Because TL is already there surrounding him while the Ahri is attacking on the front lines of the fight. So really, really nicely done from TL. And now they're on Soul Point, and they've kind of cracked open the game for themselves with a 5K gold lead.
Yeah, it kind of feels like we're already past the point of no return, and it's not even 20 minutes on the clock. TL has total control over the map. They have total vision control.
You changed your mind about T-Law, yeah. All it took was Morgan, huh?
Looking around, setting a trap. The TL Classics.
Lord Morgan is that powerful.
Move into the enemy jungle and start looking for pick opportunities. Castle knows it's too dangerous to go anywhere near here. Jose's Vi is very strong right now. 3, 1, and 5. Nearly 100% kill participation as Yon and Call Me trade back and forth a little bit. Call Me, of course, is going to win those very snappy, very fast trades on the Aurora, but it's still not enough to buy DSG the ability to push back out. It's still so scary to check into any of these brushes because if Team Liquid's waiting, they're going to win.
Yeah, and whenever this happens, you also see, for example, Rumble pushing on the bot side as we look potentially for another trap play through Fog of War.
Uh-oh. They know they need to check, and so at least they see now.
Yeah.
They're going to be able to check that out, make sure that no one is on the bear. And of course, the scary thing is always when you get vision, they could just instantly start it after the vision expires. And Yon has pushed up mid, now he's going to go back over there. TL has just completely turned the lights out on DSG, and Call Me going to be pushing out bot, but he's down 2 levels right now to Morgan.
And one thing I've really liked thus far from TL, not only in this game, but in game 1, that I felt like they were struggling with up until this point, is some of their side wave control. I feel like that's something that they were known for super, super well when you had APA and Impact, 2 players who are just so map-oriented and minded about those side lanes.
Call Me in some danger, though. Yon looking to put the spears all the way through his heart, and that'll be the easy kill for Team Liquid.
Yeah.
They want even more.
Just FF. It's all good.
But Quid and Jose are right there waiting. Disguised has just completely fallen apart in game 2, and TL now have a free ticket to the Baron.
Yeah, I mean, that's really tough. You know, Call Me wanted to just try to use the Rocket Belt to get out safety, but then that went into the wall. Then he tried to use the ulti, but it wasn't really placed very well, so he couldn't actually quite get to it. And then there was a really nice time Callista ult, and Core flies in and knocks him up as he's trying to exit out with that ulti. And at the end of the day, dies without flashing, is taken down, so Jet is gone. TL's going to get a free Baron. Game 2 is cooked. Like, this game is completely cooked. Yeah. You're hoping now for a massive series of mistakes. Like TL
really
has to
cold
have
also.
their carries pretty much go down and in one at a time for DSG to have a chance. It's just completely gotten out of control.
DSG's hoping and praying that Jose did not charge the mouse enough here in this game, and something happens to the Vi in the middle of a team fight, because any straight up 5v5 is just
The issues
not
just
winnable from
keep
here.
piling
Jan
up.
and Jose going to
Why am I
push
just
towards
cold?
the tier 2 turret here in the top lane.
My
Disguise
bagel is
trying
burnt.
to
I
defend
entered
what they
scrims.
can.
I'm
Meanwhile,
cold. I'm
Quid is
tired.
repping the push over in mid for the multi-pronged attack from Team Liquid.
DSG is
Core JJ
losing.
taking
Like,
control of the enemy jungle.
the
Prime
universe is
forced to
against
ult
me today.
defensively on the Xin Zhao, but still Jose and Quid are looking for more plays. Galio ulti also forced out of Disguise now as Castle tries to land a Justice Punch, see if there's anything they can get back, but Disguise just don't have the firepower.
And while that's all happening, you have Kalista already attacking the top turret. Once again, they should be able to easily take this with the Baron buff. And this is what makes this team
Also, no, Morgan is not that good. Morgan is like he's a decent LCK top laner.
Okay, Lions hits the bar.
This cannot be real play. Holy shit, we're desperate. God damn.
Castle's now taking a ton of damage. DSG's only play ends up being serving their own dudes on a silver platter. Quid is unstoppable. Lions is going to drop double kill back over to the Ahri as nobody but Call Me is left standing, and Team Liquid is just going to walk this one straight to the Nexus. 23 minutes on the clock.
It's even more one-sided than the last game. Quid is going to look, won't find Call Me, but does it even matter? 15-4, they're just getting stomped.
They don't even have time to get the Dragon Soul. Call Me, yeah, he's trying to ping pong back and forth, but the ace comes through. TL pushing onto Nexus turrets. First one about to collapse. Nobody's going to respawn on Disguise in time to truly make a difference here. Morgan almost dies to the turret. Another ghost
But you
puppy is
decent?
summoned
Yeah,
up
true.
here
He's
at
a
the
world's
very end.
quarterfinalist.
The Nexus will fall, and Team Liquid
That means
looks
he's one of the eight best top laners of all time.
With this composition, right? We talked about how deadly the Vi.
What do you think of Jose? I mean, he played really well in that Vi game. I have no problems with his Vi.
In the LCS. So
But I think he's been, he, along with everybody else on TL, were pretty not good in regular season.
I want to say it's the fact
This just in, are
that Team
Disguised
Liquid
frauds?
has been scrimming
Yeah, they're not playing well today, for sure. Like, TL looks better than they did in regular season, but Disguise also looks worse than I would expect them to look based on what I've seen from their other games. Like, when Disguise were winning games, it was because they were, like, super on the same page, and their objective setups were like, really nice and stuff, but just feels like they're very scattered today.
Clips. The first one is going to be basically a PSA, because I feel like something, if we can bring this up, on the new patch, you can reliably assume that Fey lights are more often warded than they are not. Let's pull up the screen right now, and you can see. Because Fey lights are so new to the game, and they provide so much extra vision, you just almost always assume these are warded, and I have seen multiple junglers get punished by doing plays around where Fey light things are without checking them, without sweeping them. This is not even a play by Jose. This is, oh, you know, this is the one where he passed through mid, and then you can see it from his vision. It was like, oh, I cleared the control ward on the side, but he's so close. You just often assume that that is warded, and it was control warded in this case. So if he had checked it, you know, you can see that, and it's just, I feel like in the current game, with Fey lights added, it is very lazy to recall
Putting on a hoodie.
by a Fey light place without checking.
So Kobe, player of the game, we have another tie that's going to be broken by chat.
Oh my God.
It's between Jose Diodo and Quid. So you just showed us negative Jose.
That is one lazy moment. Let me show you a positive.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you a positive Jose moment. This is positive team fighting from Team Liquid. So let's take a look at Sajed here. He is obviously the target. This Kaisa is the target. So Jose's over here, and you're going to see him wait for Quid's positioning, as we show all here. Quid finally gets here, so then Jose immediately charges. He's going straight for Sajed. He gets the Q bump here on the Xin, bumps Xin even further away. They immediately... Let's show it one more time. It was
Why did Disguise and Na'Vi have to lose? Yeah, I don't know. It's a terrible day.
So that's
Terrible day of league results, whatever.
You need to assassinate this target. And so, you know, nobody's going to be able to do it. Lion tries, I guess. You know, he actually is autoing the Vi instead of, like, defensively ulting. And then he offensively ults. But Quid already Charm flashes into Q, and they assassinate Sajed. Even then, though, Jat, they don't instantly win the team fight because there's a big response here, and they're able to burst down front line. And so TL, they also lose Morgan, and it has to be another reset. And look at Jose, he goes back in, able to get the bounce on the Lions, and then the charm over the wall from Quid to also get Call Me, then earns TL the fight. So Jose and Quid, did a lot there with Vi Ari, and you have to be able to pull off some of that precision.
I feel like you're changing chat's mind.
While we're waiting for the chat vote, let's look at the post-game breakdown as well from this game.
I'm going
just to see how stompy it ended up being. It's interesting that it started off so
I mean, I would give player of the game to Jose for this one, probably.
Actually start picking up until about this stage in the game, where it then exploded.
I would go Core game 1, Jose game 2.
The 15-minute team
you
can't see what's going on after that. But after 15 minutes is when Team Liquid actually turned on. So I'm actually way more bought in by the way they're winning these games, because I know they're capable of blowing people out in the early game. They're actually not blowing out DSG in the early game. It's the mid game where they're blowing them out.
Yeah, I love I feel like, consistency here now. Because the biggest concern, as you can see from the votes, is
Jose
just
Diodo.
Jose Diodo.
Jose Diodo wins player of the game.
Jose Diodo winning
I
the
like
player
a
of the
lot of
game.
these Quid votes that as well with the Ari, because it's two people working on it. But Jose did so many, especially like the last turn there.
Yeah, the challenge for me with Team Liquid is if they can maintain their leads. They're absolutely doing that. And I think even earlier on, I was wondering, like, okay, how tied are players to the quest lines? Because, like, you don't want to basically move from your lane if you're
Ktro's Velocity has been live since LCK. Interesting.
Here. You just saw Callista that was roaming towards mid lane.
I mean, it's part of the reason why I'm so tired, just because I also
like, I think so far
watched LCK.
Looks so good, and a lot of that is that benefit that we're seeing in scrims really starting to show.
Yeah, okay, we'll see if they can get to 3-0. Scrimbucks are...
Is there even a point in waking up to watch LCK, though, like tomorrow? Because it's just DK versus T1, right? Isn't DK just going to get stomped?
A chance to win, and Game 3 is coming up after this short break. Will there be a Game 4?
No.
Doesn't look like it.
I gave you your answer.
Thank you.
Like, I can watch them get stomped in a highlight video.
Don't feed. Get fed. Scan the QR code for deals only on Uber Eats.
Holy smokes! You don't look so good.
I think T1 might not make it to first stand. I mean, we'll have to see.
Inferno down here, and I'm burnt out.
Here,
I still kind of feel like they will.
It's devilishly good.
Red Bull? Oh, that tastes heavenly. Wait a
I mean, it would definitely be fun to see a different team at first stand. Like, I would love to see
Wings?
Fearx at first stand, for example.
Wings? Not in my position.
Red Bull gives you wings.
The human body was built to move. Not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers.
HLE first stand when true, they have to defend their title.
Every move.
Is it going to be a 3-0? Looks like it. Let's see, you're sponsored by Red Bull. If I was sponsored by Red Bull, I would probably be drinking it right now, and I wouldn't be tired, but... I am just... Yeah, I don't know.
No. Did I forget to grab it?
Yeah, probably.
I don't see the herald anywhere, guys.
Oh, wait.
No, we didn't herald. We never heralded.
Well, we win without herald, I guess.
Did you actually not take it? I feel like I saw it.
Hi, Dame. Can you make me not tired? Can you figure out why I'm sleeping so poorly and fix it? Okay, this guy's time to lock the fuck in. Yeah, see, what I'm thinking is that no matter who wins this game, I'll be fine with it. Because if TL wins, then it's a quick 3-0 and I can go to sleep. But if Disguised win, then it's fine because I want Disguised to win. So it's like a win-win for me. No matter who wins this game, I'll be happy in one way. Feel like we get sleep apnea at a concerningly young age. Yeah, my dad has a CPAP. Works pretty well for him. Alright, Bonnie, thanks for the raid. We're here to watch Disguised get 3-0'd.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the LCS, where Disguised are one game away from elimination until Spring Split if they can't.
I'm also very tired.
Game number 1, they had control for a while, but then after TL took control, they never really got it back.
I'm not tired on the same level that I was during that TL dig game. That was crazy. I was like not mentally present at all for that one.
Like 24 minutes when the Nexus exploded, it was TL dominance.
Like if I try to think back to my memory of the TL dig game, I like can't remember anything. There's like just nothing in my head.
They are looking really, really good. Now the question
I remember that the game happened and that's it.
Rookies over on the DSG side, like, can they stabilize? Calm down.
But like right now, I'm like half present. You know, I'm like kind of present.
What it takes to come back, because you would need to reverse.
My eyes are kind of working. I can almost see what's happening on the screen.
In these situations, when you have very little yourself.
Yeah, and the big difference
You went for a sandwich and streamer changed?
Every time DSG kind of makes a mistake, it just seems like the TL punish is that much harder.
You got downgraded.
As
Unlucky.
To when we did see DSG get a lead trying to
But yeah, this has been a very low energy co-stream. I'm too tired to like analyze draft or any of that shit.
And we'll see how they can stabilize. I think the thing I'm looking from them is we talked about how potentially creative this team can be. Especially with, I think, Kryra.
Horror viewers, Doomed Yuri, or Wholesome Yai. We've already been over this. There's nothing better than Doomed Yuri.
Bring out, and then we know Castle is
other
very
than
willing to play
maybe $1 million.
Wide variety of champions. But honestly, the big thing for me has just been, even when they did get that bot 2v2, since in the LCS we have been so
shout out to Link Click
bot lane focused. It's really been Yawn winning out.
Yeah, I need to watch it at some point. I remember there was one day where I tried to watch it.
Like it hasn't as much to me, but
and then like I saw that it was more than one season. I was like, yeah, I don't have the energy for this right now.
A lot of these team fights where it's like, okay, the wheels just fell off. It is DSG.
You'll defend Yaoi till the day you die. Yeah, you're in enemy territory right now.
3 different plans, and it is TL with 1 plan. Right?
Poro community's got
4 or 5
quite a lot of lesbians in it.
Well, one guy from DSG is over here. Some guy's clearing vision. Someone's looking to run. Someone's looking to engage. Someone wants to go bot lane. Yeah. And it just
always the Yaoi enjoys bringing up Yuri versus Yaoi. Yeah.
And if you go up
why can't we just enjoy it all?
Engage tools, and you are having that kind of game, you are just not gonna have a chance.
All right, we're into draft for game number 3. Let's see what Disguised has cooking. The C9 fans are eating good so far this split, I think. As once more, we've got the same draft setup that we did in game number 2, where Disguised have elected for last pick. Team Liquid has elected for the blue side. That means the draft makes sense based on how we normally imagine it to be. There's no shenanigans going on. We will have the Varus, the Jarvan, and the Akali banned out by Team Liquid. Meanwhile, Victor, Renekton, and Nocturne banned out by DSG.
And 2 big champions I'm immediately noticing are both in the mid lane with Azir and Orianna, both up to be able to trade for either team. Definitely, I think why we see that Nocturne ban coming out. So if TL do want to first
you're going to be at LCS
Orianna
studio?
Liquid, they won't then have to deal with
that's
the
neat.
Nocturne Orianna combination.
Let me go to LCS studio real quick. All I have to do is either
I mean, it is kind of
fly to the other
because
side of the
these
country
days, basically,
or drive
like,
to the other side of the
mid-jungle,
country, you know? It's like a
I was talking about this on the
52-hour
show, but
drive.
there's either 1 or 0 for each role, depending on the
If I
role.
leave on a Monday, I can
AP
maybe
or
get there in
AD
time.
champions in those roles. So essentially, Yone is the only champion in the top 20 pro picks in mid lane.
Yeah.
And if you want to count like Sejuani or whatever for jungle, there's like champions like that. But basically, you have to go down to Diana for someone who's like actually stacking AP. So really, every game essentially becomes you're just tier list drafting the AD junglers and the AP control mages, and like that is kind of where we are at right now in Pro League of Legends. And as you can see, Xin is gone, Vi is gone, Trundle is gone, Wukong is gone, Jarvan is banned, Nocturne is banned. All right, well now
Is this on live patch? Because if it is,
Pantheon, and maybe, you know, if
I think Graves is like very strong on this patch.
It's really
any
what
summer
League of
Hikaru
Legends
died
is right now.
enjoys.
And
I
this
feel
is
like I
gonna be
would
an
be,
HR
but
jungle,
the
could also be
problem
top, of
is
course,
that I haven't
but,
started it yet
that
because I
is
want to wait until
another
it's
one of
done.
those
Like
players who
as
can
soon
seriously
as
down all the ones that haven't already been banned out.
the summer Hikaru died is finished, I'm gonna binge that shit in like one day.
Enchanters are back and everything, but Core JJ has historically been one of our supports who will play a Pantheon support. So I'm going to say there's always a possibility it's a flex.
That is true.
I've seen Kangas play some Pantheon support, and if I'm going to be judging it off of that, it's looking pretty weak right now. It needs some buffs.
Might be a slight difference between Core JJ and Kangas.
That's not fair?
Sorry, Kangas, if you're watching from home.
Yeah, no, we love you. As expected, though, we see the Azir coming out of Quid. Azir is a monster to me just because he fits in so many compositions. If you're ever wondering, is Azir ever going to fall out of pro play? The answer is pretty much no, unless they absolutely gut him and make
I mean, I
him
feel like
on a
Yone could have been good,
difficult for solo queue as
actually,
well.
on 2 for TL.
And we see the Gnar
It's like one of Quid's best champions. The matchup into Orianna's is pretty playable. You have Pantheon, so you can like abuse people on side lane. It's also good into Aatrox like later in the game. I think this could have been like a super good Yone angle.
Like Ignite Kennen is what immediately came to mind for me. Jace is another good one. There are some different matchups you can go, but I feel like, hey, you just got stomped in 2 games. Counterpick for your lane, play a combat summoner, see if you can blow the game open. It's going to be Jax, which I think is fine. I don't really see this as a lane counter, but it is something that outscales and definitely has potential to put pressure on Gnar.
Also something that we just know Castle is super comfortable with, right? So in these situations, a lot of times they're probably just asking him what he's comfortable with, and they end up with the Jax. So we'll see how he'll be able to pilot that. I do think, as the sung hero of DSG
Tales
thus
are
far,
written about him.
Exactly, some tales. The big thing, difference maker that has been in team fights when he is able to find kind of these really interesting flanks. We've seen him do well on the Jax. I still remember that Aurora triple kill he had in Topside River during their last outing. So we'll see how he can contribute here. Once again, Ashe taken off the table. DSG do not want to go up against
I like TL's 1, 2, 3
Seraphine
better.
Lane and Ezreal removed for TL.
I think we're kind of now into the territory of you're either going Jhin and playing supportive, or you're going hyper carry and doing like a Felios Lulu, you know, Jinx, those kind of things. So that's kind of, I think, where we're at in the AD carry tier list right now. You can also go Sivir as far as, you know, those hyper carries are concerned. So I'm going to be interested to see if TL wants to continue squeezing that pool and where they will go.
Zaya banned
so
out here
sleepy.
by Disguised, wants to get rid of that AD carry with the powerful self-peel, right? That defensive ultimate that can save her from the Aatrox and the Jax when they try to dogpile in. Right now, I'm also looking at Disguised comp, and I'm not seeing a whole ton of engage. I feel like the remaining picks, obviously one of them has to be a marksman, so the support, I think you're going to need some stronger engage potential if you really want to be able to make plays against Team Liquid.
Yeah, and as we see this Smolder hover coming out of Sajed, another really interesting thing is that Karma is now off the ban list if they want to go some sort of Enchanter pushing lane, and Lulu is available. Again, we've been so heavily bot lane focused, and that's going to continue here with the Lucian locked in for Sajed, and my assumption is going to be, based on what TL pick, they're going to adjust their Enchanter on that.
Yeah, I mean, you can do Enchanter. Obviously, Nami was already played earlier because of that pairing, but so you could do things, common pairings like Melio, like Braum are good. But I kind of agree with Flowers that they're pretty light and engaged, so maybe you just kind of like slam down the Alistar and you still, do something like that, even if it is a weaker lane, just to try to enable their engage. And I think on the other side, we probably are going to get like a Aphelios Lulu or something along those lines. Aphelios Melia would also be cool because it could be a denial pick from the other side. So this is kind of where we are at with the picks that are up and available. The engage is not going to be great on the CL side either. It's like a flash stun from a Pantheon.
Actually, honestly, if they go Aphelios Milio, this is like very...
So both teams will be a little bit
I don't know how I feel about this.
But generally when that happens, range kind of becomes king, right? It's who can...
I don't know. All of a sudden, that's their comp is kind of weird.
And right now,
I don't know who's really supposed to go first in fights.
That is more in TL's favor.
Yeah, especially with the Azir and then the Aphelios Lulu coming out of this bot lane. It does make it so much more dangerous if they do feel like they need engage and want to pick that Alistar. That's going to be a really, really rough initial lane. But no, they're actually going the Rel in as their engager.
I mean, Rel, you can
honestly,
that's always kind of nice. You do have some good AoE engage. I really felt like their comp needed it, especially if you're going to be playing alongside Orianna. Sure, the Jax could try to get it in there, but Rel is a way more effective ball delivery system in most cases. So I do think,
I think I like the disguise comp better. Like I liked TL's 1-2-3 way better, but I was hoping that they were going to go some kind of
similar situation. Excuse me, as I stumble over my words. But I think that they had to kind of do it for their competition.
Like I don't know, some form of engage lane with it.
Goes hand in hand with what we were talking about, how disguise doesn't seem like they've all been on the same page so far in this series, particularly compared to their opponents who seem much more coordinated. If you don't have that solid engage,
like, I guess there's not really much that's up, but like they saw the Lucian on 4, right? You could unironically go like a Tristana lane, for example. And I think thematically I would have liked it more.
Right? Like that's how you're going to get everybody on the same page.
Big predictions, true. We're copping the 0-0 right now.
And I feel like disguise
Were the first 2 games close? There were moments where the games were close, but I don't think it felt close. It felt like Disguise got stomped in both games. Like they had winning positions in both games, but it never felt like they were going to win.
And kind of stack some sort of CC potential with the Gnar, like you talked about, Azael, with the Azir shuffle. So if they are able to set up team fights well, they'll have the range advantage with the poke, and then they'll be able to set up engages.
Plus, you can also do the cool thing where Azir makes the wall of soldiers, Gnar slams everybody into the wall of soldiers. A little bit of wombo combo fun there if they get the timing down right. But we're on to the Rift for the 3rd time today. Runes on your screen.
TL got their shit together.
Really
yeah, TL do look better, but I would also say Disguise just look worse. They're not really fighting together well as a team.
Next best AD jungler.
And they're making some silly mistakes.
Aatrox this time around. So mid lane as well. Quid, we saw him playing so aggressive in the previous game on the Ahri. Obviously, Azir is not going to be quite that level of aggro, but I still do want to see him continue to play in the faces of his opponents.
I will say it's kind of cool. Obviously, Cryer doesn't have a ton of competitive experience, but it is his first ever Aatrox game in competitive play. And Aatrox, I do think, is a champion that takes some games. You really do kind of have to know the limits, because on these drain tank style champions, you have to know how far you can go, right? How much you can push the limit. So it takes a lot of experience as far as that is concerned, and then just getting really comfortable with the EQs, making sure you're placing those well, like all the timings on how to actually duel, and knowing your limits in the 5v5s.
Yeah, and we'll see if he can potentially pull it off, because I think talking about, again, the way this DSG roster was constructed, Kryra coming on, the fact that they continued scrimming with him even when Kizno was the one who was here and he was still playing from Canada. I think this is a really interesting angle for him to be able to pop off, considering how much they've relied on him, not even as a carry, but also as a facilitator.
Okay, tri-lane cam is on, and it's a fast path towards bottom lane for Jose Diodo. Level 3 on this.
Is this 16.4? I was like trying to look for which patch it was, but I wasn't seeing anything.
The Pantheon jumps in, and there's your first blood over to Team Liquid. That is an absolute.
So I have no idea. Maybe the wiki will. Maybe the wiki says it. I'll check.
Jose Diodo, for giving me my early jungle gank. We got it.
No, it's 26.3.
Really, really nice recognition that with this bot lane being as shoved in as it was.
At least according to the wiki it is. Like if I check the wiki here, it says
really nice wraparound gank.
Playoffs round 1 is 26.3, which includes today and tomorrow.
I kind of almost want to see how it went so bad.
And then maybe Sunday will be 26.4.
Was it just, them going a little bit too far and getting slowed down and chased down, or kind of what happened. Because usually for those types of
Yeah, this
HP
looks pretty
advantages
heavy
to
on live.
happen, it's like someone overextends.
Maybe even though Atrox comes, you can one shot his barrier, okay? No heal. What do you think? Yeah. I'll go. I can start tanking. I drop. Back up. Yeah. Good job.
I mean, that was easy, but Morgan, yeah, I mean, that dive just looks so easy, right? You know, to me, it's like, the interesting part of that is kind of how they got that low, and I was watching some of the other lanes more for the trading there when we were in the tri-lane cam, but, you know, Jan not even having to use Ghost to trade down and get a big trade or anything like that. That's rough. I mean, when you're going up against a Felios Lulu, it never gets better. It's these champions scale to infinity, so there's no like, all right, we'll just scale, guys.
Yeah, just play safe, fellas. It's a problem down here in bottom lane.
Yeah, I don't know. This guy's look tilted to me.
HP, Jan chasing after him with the Gravitum. Core JJ making sure that his AD carry can make this pursuit go all the way underneath the turret. So much damage onto both of them. Disguised bottom laners both have to flash away and barely survive.
I mean, that is horrible. And now you have Infernum, so you're just going to be able to fast shove the wave and crash it. So you're going to be able to deny some of these minions here also. And that is just Ghost traded for 2 flashes. So, and then when you have no flashes, it's not even like you can hope for the bailout of a gank, because this is Aatrox. Aatrox needs some setup. Aatrox can't just like run in and one-shot them, right? Like you need to have the rel to be able to set something up. So this is looking dire. I'm not going to lie. Dire already for DSG. Their bot lane is basically out of the game.
Plus, Jose Dioto's on Pantheon with a point-and-click stun. No flashes to get out of the range before he can make that happen. Guarantees that if he wants to show up again, they're going to have the tools to make a play and continue trying to just steamroll this game through bottom lane.
Yeah, and it's really nice to see, again, how well this TL bot lane is performing. We talk about the power of them and how good they've been in the past. And how good they've been in scrims.
What do you think about Jose so far this season? Well, a lot of people are asking about Jose. You're like maybe like the 4th person who's asked today.
You know what? Just gonna back it up.
I think he's playing well today. I was not particularly impressed with him in regular season though. Although I wasn't impressed with anybody on TL in regular season.
And it's just another stacked up wave that Jan will be able to farm all of. Will not miss any of that CS. As Calmy's now in some danger. Flash stun coming out from Jose Dioto. Needs a little bit more damage to secure the kill. Comet Spear, nope. Didn't end up actually throwing it.
Honestly, at the end of the
well,
day,
that's a really good trade for TL. They can make a play on Orianna every single, like, honestly, like whenever they want. Like now that Azir's flash and ult, they can just kill Orianna for sure, guaranteed.
Where it's easy to set that up for the Azir, sweep them back in with your flash, have the Pantheon all come in.
Yeah, the thing is about hitting level
Quid have a
6
downgrade. All of TL had a downgrade. TL were actively bad in regular season. Like the rumors were that they were playing really well in scrims, but every single one of their stage games were just like shit.
But you get it out of the way, you grab an objective.
Like they almost lost to Dig, and if they had lost to Dig, they would have gotten 7th and missed playoffs.
The sweat off your forehead a little bit.
Yeah, it's actually huge because you don't give away that early Drake stacking to TL, especially when this bot lane has had so much pressure on this bot side as we see them shoving another wave towards that turret. Was it you, Flowers, who said that Chemdrake is so stinky, that's why no one wants to take it?
That sounds like something I would say. That sounds like some logic behind it. As Team Liquid pushing up in the bottom lane here yet again. Morgan goes Mega Gnar topside, forcing the flash out of Castle in response. So now both top laners without their flashes. Or JJ putting the deep ward here next to the enemy Gromp as the big wave crashes into the turret. Sajed and Lions at least not going to get dove on this one, so Sajed should be able to pick up most of this farm, but the pressure just remains so constant. It's still 55
Love your Rose videos. Thank you.
Bottom lane CS.
Yeah, and don't allow bot lane being cooked to distract you from the fact that top lane is also looking kind of cooked. he was down 20 CS at one point. He did collect the wave. It's going to be pushing back to Morgan, but Castle had the ability to counterpick, had his flash force there in the 1v1. And it's just looking rough. I mean, they can't even walk up to the tower, really. Jose's coming, and if Sajed tries to enter, he's going to die.
Yep, looks like Cryro will at least make his way in here as well. Level 7 on the Aatrox, so he is pretty strong. Goes forward.
This does not look good to me from Disguise. They're kind of trolling. Yeah, it's a 3-0. Yeah, just FF. Let me go to bed. Did you win the award where you were nominated? Oh, what even is it called? Like the League Awards or something? Yeah, no, I didn't win that.
Team Liquid Can they even get Sajed here? Probably not, but man, it's just another point of pain here in the bot lane.
Yeah, Sajed is not having a good time as we see the ult coming out of Quid.
Ooh, nice, and the 2 turret shots as well as Calmy tries to get away. One more hit will take him down, but Calmy survives for now, has about 20 HP remaining, is using the potion, trying to heal up, wants to see if maybe he can get away on this one, goes for the TP, and Calmy calls it quits in the enemy jungle, manages just barely to get home.
Calmy escapes, but still a massive win for TL, going immediately from that bot side play into Quid, pushing up. As we see, Core JJ has just been so
That award spelled my name wrong, by the way.
I was a little concerned for TL with the level
They called me, what even was it? I'm trying to remember. They called me like...
stunned up and dropped as he goes in. Cryer gets polymorphed, and all the chakrams coming out of Yon.
I think they forgot the H.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, or that, yeah, or it was Psychopathic. Yeah, it was one of the two, but...
Lions is less than half HP, has to use the heal before he even goes in, and Sajed was level 4 to level 6 on the
Just checking in, are we mad at Lions here?
There's no damage behind that engage.
Karma and Millie gen up, and he goes probably, yeah, I mean, they kind of has to.
Completely doomed. If you can't walk up to your tower at this point of the game, you just can't.
Like, I feel like Disguised Comp can't play the game if you don't have more engage.
The Sajed is looking rough, and you know, it is going to be a really tough game.
Like, I think the problem is maybe just don't go Lucian on 4.
DSG are trying to maintain a little bit of control
if anything.
around this bottom side river if they can. They secure another scuttle. Cryer tries to steal away some camps there, looking at the enemy chickens. Sajed, again, just forced back. The Lucian having to run away from Lulu because Lulu is just straight up stronger is not good tidings.
No. He did hit level 6 now.
Like, generally, I'm actually not a big fan of TL's comp here.
Kind of what you were talking about earlier, right, Azale, with the Aatrox.
I think if TL are not ahead in early game, which they are, so you can, like, disregard what I'm saying, but, like, if TL were not ahead in early game, I think that they have problems figuring out who actually goes first in fights. And who actually, like, can step forward to, like, face check or build space or anything.
And I think it's just one of these situations where you have to recognize your role.
Whereas, like, these guys don't have that problem. So, like, if they're not just, like, losing top, if we're not, like, getting super chunked level 3 or whatever happened to Sajed in lane and then getting dove, it's like, if, you know, then maybe they can actually play the game.
Yeah, there's the wild growth. Lions is locked up. He's out of there. Jose Dioto on a killing spree. And Yon has the Infernum yet again to fast shove the waves. Sajed's trying to cull the wave down just to keep himself alive. But the culling can only take out the front line of the minions. Now Jose and Core can just walk on up. It's that easy. Another kill over to Jose Dioto.
This is absolute decimation coming out of TL on this bot side of the map. Because I thought Quid might be looking for another potential ult there. Doesn't go for it. Takes a lot of damage.
Calmy's like, don't worry guys, I'm up 6 CS. How are your lanes going?
Just that nightmare situation where you feel like your lane's going well, you press tab. You really wish you didn't press tab. Now we've got the ulti coming in the mid lane from Jose Dioto. Flashes towards Calmy, goes for the stun. Needs a little bit more damage to secure the kill. Won't quite find it here just yet. Comet Spear collides, but he doesn't have the damage.
Nicely done there by Lions. Good roam, covers his mid laner, so doesn't have to use the flash. And Kyra gonna get pushed back. I mean, Quid is low. They are kind of hanging around, but I just don't think that DSG have the ability to actually get access to him. So it will just be the pushed wave. And you can see Yon already has the Storm Razor, so the move speed gonna be ramping up quite a bit now too.
Yeah, both mid laners chunked, but importantly, Quid has his teleport available, and Calmy does not because he had to use it earlier to get away when he was behind enemy lines. So there should be some pretty easy setup around the Drake for TL if that's what they want to go for. DSG is
honestly, can TL just win faster? This is that way I can go to sleep.
Already made his way back into the mid lane, and Kryra and the rest of DSG are going to have to seriously consider how badly they want this Drake. Kryra's still hanging around, but here goes Jose Dioto, immediately starting up the fight. He's taking a ton of damage. Shield keeps him alive a little bit longer as Lions goes in for the engage. Jose is low, but he is not dead here just yet. Finally shut down. Goes up to DSG and Lions. Quid is in the middle of everybody, but they still don't have the damage to get the kills. Yon goes forward, but it's a double kill for Lions. Yon is down to 50 HP.
Wait, these guys are like trying to game. Hold up.
Next to him wants to try to keep his carry protected.
Oh, good Lulu ult, maybe. Oh, okay, hold up.
The kill still comes through. DSG
It was looking so bleak, but they found themselves a fight. Now Core is trapped in the
That might be like the
jungle.
first
Lions
good
looking
team
all
fight
up, but he misses
Disguised has
shattering
had
strike.
all
Colby
series.
takes the kill, and DSG aren't done fighting just yet.
Great job there by DSG being able to find something off the back of this pagoda moment. We can watch it one more time.
Honestly, the Aatrox did like some pretty crazy work. Look at how much damage the Aatrox does to the Aphelios here.
All 4 members from DSG are hitting him the whole
And like
time, and
Aphelios just can't play the game because like he gets hit with that and that, like the Q3 hitting. Like now Aphelios just like he can't play as aggressively as he wants to.
And you know, then you're in this situation where you're in this kind of 2v3. I feel like they played it really well. The timing on the wild growth was great, and then Core moves in front to try to block the culling, but that just stacks you up for the shockwave.
Yeah, and that's absolutely huge for DSG, who are looking pretty out of this game going into it, taking advantage of a really split fight, right? Like not only was Jan not able to get in, but Quid was off on the side, a bit separated from his team as well. And now we'll see what they're able to do with it. But most importantly, I mean, they do secure... oh no, the Drake wasn't taken, never mind.
Well,
I'm crazy.
Sajed is no longer a minion at the very least. Like he has an item.
He has Kraken Slayer.
He's been upgraded, so at least your AD carry is online. It's still a bad spot, but we'll see.
Yeah, Quid going in for the Emperor's Divide. Looks for Call Me here. Takes him down to about half HP.
Honestly, Quid's ult onto the Orianna has been pretty trash. Like he's not ulting when Jose's in position to do something about it.
Sloppy with their lead, and it's DSG punishing.
Nicely done by Call Me. He just kind of kited it out. He is actually at a really strong point now. He has the tier 3 boots. He has his Ludens completed off the back of that last fight. So he has.
I'm like a turbo Ludens Orianna hater, by the way.
More ahead than Jan is over.
I think Blackfire or Rod of Ages. Yeah, not a big fan of Ludens.
Jose jumps into the back, wants to find the kill onto Sajed, but the Pantheon alone does not have a ton of damage.
You know what's crazy is that the instant I said, can TL just hurry up and win, they started losing. So I think it's just whichever team I'm cheering for will just lose. Which is what I was saying, is that today's just not my day. Nothing is going my way today. So.
Getting their carries, most importantly, Sajed back in the game.
As a fan of both, you know, Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, I really love some Kung Fu movies, and I appreciate TL reenacting the bad villains in those, walking in one at a time to fight the hero.
To get their butt kicked.
Exactly. Just, you know, Cora go first, he'll see what's up. All right, you know, you took me down. Now, it's going to be Jose's turn. What can Jose do against our hero? And it's looking like not much, unfortunately, for him, as TL, you know, some pretty big mistakes, honestly. You know, Quid dies for free mid, and then you have multiple deaths bot.
He can't find me. He can't find me.
Yeah,
right,
man.
He can't.
True.
Yeah, this was a 3,000 gold lead.
All right,
for
well,
Team Liquid
Lucian
earlier.
has a
He's
gold
now
lead
1,000
somehow.
gold
That's
lead for
pretty neat.
Disguised. An absolutely massive throw, and it's just crazy.
Look at the CS difference spot, by the way, and you're up 83 gold.
By the way, for anybody who was asking about how TL looked in regular season, this is basically what they looked like in regular season. Was these last like 3 minutes.
So DSG, we talked earlier back in like the first couple of games about how Team Liquid was getting more.
TL is not playing. It's T-Law True. Oh, I'm buffering. Nice.
As Core JJ and Jan could be in a little bit of danger here, but Lions isn't close enough to catch anybody. Jan has the ghost to give himself enough distance
awesome.
to stay safe here on the Aphelios.
My entire PC is lagging. It's not just YouTube, it's my whole PC. Is my stream even still on? Oh, whatever, it is what it is. Yeah, my browser crashed. Don't worry, guys. I can read the chat on OBS. Let's see. So I'm seeing people saying, we are here. We see you just fine. Will Disguised make it to Game 5 and lose just to make Poro stay up for nothing? Yeah, probably. But yeah, my entire browser is cooked. I can't do anything. I can task manager close everything, but it's like really feels bad to do that. Oh, whatever. I'll just do that. Cloudflare gone again? Was there like a Cloudflare issue earlier today?
It's all about, okay, regroup, chill out, like Jan said, take it slow, you know, in game one, and try to protect him, because now you have Kryra at 4-2-2. This Aatrox is going to be massive coming into team fights. Lions has been on point with these rel engages, and Call Me has a really.
Alright, what did I miss? Did anything happen?
From that.
And I think TL are pretty lucky.
Doesn't seem like anything happened.
1v1, right? Because
Similar gold lead.
And he's up 1.5k, and they are down as a team 1.6k. Like, this would be, even if he was even, they'd be down 3k, right? And if he was losing to the counter pick, which is kind of what your expectation is, they could be completely out of the game. So credit to him. But it is kind of this redemption story that you're talking about for Lions. And we had kind of touched on it, you know, how he had been performing, you know, before the Sentinel series versus kind of in the Sentinel series. You know, stats don't always tell this whole story with Sentinels, with the Sentinel series and with supports in general. But you know, he definitely was not on form, and it's nice to see him having a good game on the row.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we see TL dropping the Rift Herald. They have been able to take down this entire outer ring of turrets using the Gnar and then the Rift Herald in mid. So that's at least solid for them. And again, we'll be looking to see what they want to do with their next team fight, because if they give that Drake up, DSG...
Good to see that top laners matter. Yeah, yeah.
All right, DSG, let's see if you can maintain that control. And
this is just what an LCP game looks like. This is like every LCP game. Just a massive gap top lane, but then whichever top laner's winning just loses the game.
So Jed going to walk up here in mid lane. Quick Ardent Blaze onto Jan, walks back away. Just a nice quiet distraction while they begin the Drake down here. TP's coming in. Morgan wants to be a part of this fight. This could be the big X factor here for Team Liquid, but Morgan's the only one going in at first. Narbar mostly charged. Kryra's already secured the Drake, and DSG's just going to walk away.
And if they're able to walk away without even needing the TP from Castle, that is a huge win. Jan is trying to kind of section them off, see if he can find anything.
Okay, Jan does hit him there with the Moonlight Vigil, but Blast Cone over the wall, they're safe.
And the big thing was, it looked like TL took too long to set up that play, right? Because you saw Morgan waiting in base. It was a matter of not if he was going to TP, but when and what kind of flank they were looking for to try to get this Gnar involved, time it around the Gnar bar, and they just weren't able to do it. DSG immediately go in, pick up that Drake, and now they're on Soul Point, Infernal Soul too.
They're looking really, really strong. And I mean, I understand why TL thought, hey, maybe we can actually look for this, because Morgan just hit 2 items, Jose's already in 2 items, IE just got completed for Jan. But their mid lane is kind of out of the game as well.
This Orianna build is crazy.
Really you already have the 2 completed items.
Going Luden's Shadowflame into Azir Pantheon is like
and then you look over at the
very, very
Orb,
bold.
like some little pieces at the end, but basically it's just Nashers and some trash, right? Like, it's Quid is having a rough one in this game.
And meanwhile, across the aisle, Call Me is not playing vegetarian Orianna. This dude is out here just eating burger after burger. Shadow Flame plus Luden's Echo, those shockwaves are just going to eradicate whoever they hit.
Yep, and as we see them kind of setting up.
Oh, so Jed trying to get away from this one. That's a big catch
for
TL. Jose Diodo makes it happen, but what can they get afterwards?
It would be risky to start up the Baron here. I mean, it's only 22 minutes into the game, but TL, I think, at the very least, want to bait it. They want to try to clear out vision. They haven't actually swept out.
At least the Jed didn't use either of his summoner spells.
What's going on? And remember, Baron, that big debuff could mean problems if Call Me can get him behind them. He's behind.
Okay, Call Me looking for it. Have to flash away to try to escape. Morgan now going to be your target. DSG trying to go after the Gnar. Kryra's stuck in the middle of everybody. The burst is plenty enough, and DSG lose their jungler. Now they've got to scatter. Morgan's still alive. Nice engage coming out from Lions, but there is no follow-up. DSG's trying to kill off Jan, but they don't have the damage to do it. Castle goes back in, but he falls. Jose Diodo gets the kill on the Jax, and now DSG DSG have got to be careful.
Yeah, I mean, it just felt like Calmy got a little bit too clever there, you know, trying to come in from the other angle. He lost his flash early, and then he couldn't really connect with the rest of the
Swear
team.
Jack should have tabbed it. Yeah, I haven't even boosted on Jax. This is kind of insane,
from
yeah.
Lions, it just didn't really amount to anything.
Yeah, I mean, they couldn't really follow up with a lot of damage, as we see this again, where Calmy is separated from the fight. Kryra goes in. Morgan is actually able to get a really nice stun against the wall to take out Kryra there.
Now, so watch Calmy's shockwave here. So obviously he's super strong. We talk about that. He has the rank 2 shockwave. They go for the re-engage. He gets the ball in on Lions. It only connects on the Gnar. So not able to really hit much of anything there. And I just feel like if he was on the same side of the fight with the Rel, it's a completely different game, right? You're very likely to be able to get a multi-man shockwave. And unfortunately for him, couldn't find it.
All right, TL back in the lead now, plus 2,000 gold. Morgan
Still in the
chasing
series
after
today.
Lions.
Yep.
Team Liquid invading the enemy jungle, seeing if they can set up any picks, just like they've done in the previous 2 games. Less than 2 minutes on the clock until that Dragon Soul will spawn for Disguise. That one is going to be absolutely massive for TL to contest. But TL's not willing to wait. They want to contest Baron right now. Still 90 seconds.
Man, but you want there to be another best of 5 today? Do you know how much I would suffer if I had to watch another best of 5?
DSG still on the approach. You can see
I would be like having like hallucinations. I would be delirious.
Away from Sajed. Turret destroyed in the meantime over there in the mid lane. And we're just chilling. Okay, no fight.
Yeah, no fight. Jose now has opened up a really big gold lead for himself, and even off that early fight, Kryra got a lot of kills, completed his second item, but Jose has been stalwart throughout this game, has been great really the whole way through, and now completes the GA, so he is super, super strong. Quid is just going for a defensive build. He's just going to go for the Seekers because I think he realizes the game's not about him at all at this point, which is going to make it more difficult for Calmy. You know, you can react to that shockwave, throw down the stasis. It's just about can TL
The Seer's build is so
if they can, they're going to be set up for
depressing.
Yeah, and that's where I'm also still going to be looking at Jose, especially with this GA locked in for him on the next fight. And they did pull that TP off of the Jax, right? So it's going to take him much longer time to walk up to this as they return to the Baron.
Yep, Jan's got the Chakrams here too. Look at how many of them he has stacked up. DSG still trying to approach, but the Baron is already gone. Team Liquid claim the objective. Jan still looking for an opportunity to put those Chakrams to good work. DSG's not going to give it to him, but now DSG can make a
okay, DSG have the inner track to Dragon. They might just get Soul here.
So it's actually not a good trade for TL if they do end up losing this, and it looks like they are likely to. Jan is just going to go topside, so they get the Baron. As long as DSG can actually hold out through this Baron buff, they're going to be really happy. And again, it was just a weird fight because Calmy is not with the team. He's trying to come around on these
questionable from TL.
Just into the Baron pit, but the fight was already over. They do, though, get the soul at the end of the day, and it's going to be this injection of gold for TL.
Like, I don't think they're ending on this Baron,
so. So much gold. I know, talking to Freak, he estimated the value, the gold value of souls around 6,000 plus gold. So that is a lot, right? There is stats on the Baron. There is a little bit of a gold injection on the Baron, but like, I don't think they should be able to end the game with the Baron by any means. And now you have Infernal Soul on this super fed Orianna. If that Shockwave combo hits, you could be cooked.
Yeah, that one's going to hurt. Seeker's Arm Guard, we already mentioned it being available for the Azir, but the Orianna also having that defensive tool. So Calmy can hopefully feel safer positioning and posturing aggressively so that he can find high value on these shockwaves, combo them there with Lions so they can get that huge wombo combo that really will make their team fight sing.
Yeah, and now the question is going to be, okay, how well can TL kind of set the map in their favor with this Baron buff, right? Try to push out side waves. We've seen the Gnar in that bot lane kind of constantly pushing up that wave. Lions is going to get spotted out here.
Yeah, Lions looking for Quid, who immediately just shuffles him back over the wall. The Azir still doing a solid amount of damage. TL going to group back up here. Pantheon ulti diving way into the back lines here, trying to finish off Lions and Kryra. Lions in some serious danger, does have to use the crash down defensively. Team Liquid putting the pedal to the metal here with their Baron. They've still got 60 seconds left on this, and they're using it to go down mid.
And initially, I thought Jose was going to go in way too deep, but the follow-up from Morgan was really good. Hit the Gnar bar at the exact right time. Kind of makes DSG have to scatter so they can brute force this mid tier 2, hopefully link up now with Quid, who's been pushing up this bot wave, and try to make a play on this bot side tier 2.
Yeah, they want to at least get this bot side tier 2. There's 37 seconds left on that Baron buff. Quid could get caught by Shockwave.
Nice Shockwave there, but can Quid escape? DSG trying to chase after the enemy mid laner. They hit the Darkened Blade. He uses the Seeker's arm guard, but he will not escape. Call Me gets the kill, and Disguised get the pick.
Nicely done. Disguise getting another pick there. So it is just the 3.4k gold lead at the end of the day with that Baron buff. They're not going to get anything more, but again, around 6,000-ish gold of stats, with that soul, that is essentially what that is valued at. Of course, it is different for every team comp. It depends on how easily you can apply, this soul buff, how easily you can apply the damage. But it is going to be quite powerful. And, DSG are not in a bad spot. So TL didn't really get enough with that Baron for it to be worthwhile.
Yeah, they weren't able to get kind of that tier 2 bot that they were prepping for. They did knock down the tier 2 in mid, but all inhib turrets and 2 tier 2s actually are still standing. They pretty much just only added that mid tier 2 because they'd already had the outer ringer of turrets down for a while.
I will say though, Castle has had basically zero effect on this entire game. Like he is scaling, he is getting levels, but he's not seeming to really get a lot of gold, hasn't been able to catch up at all. He's down almost 3k individually. Like that is basically the entire lead is just Morgan. So, if DSG can fight where Morgan and Castle are in a side lane, that is a great fight for you. So to me, your job becomes when you're getting slammed in a side lane like this, you just try to draw that guy to you and you're just running at towers, trying to force them to respond, because if I'm not there and you're not there, it's way better for my team when I'm behind.
Right, the 4v4 for Disguised is very, very scary looking. Quid still very far behind the pace of the game himself here on the Azir, but Morgan with the 3 fully completed items on the Gnar is absolutely massive. See if he face checks into the brush here. Does take a quick burst of damage, but he's just about got the Gnar bar charged, so he continues just running straight at them, and DSG back away as Castle makes his way back out onto the map. He's on the flank here with a blast cone, but he does need to be a little bit mindful. Jose hits him with a very small amount of poke. Sun Disc
well, that Azir tower was pretty good.
Morgan's Mega Gnar for now. DSG might look for their opportunity to go in, but it's a ton of burst on a Call Me. He's already dead. Quid takes the kill, and DSG have to try to fight without their mid laner. So Jet forced off to the side of the fight at the same time, as now Kryra is down. Lions will follow. TL just killed 4.
TL were constantly trying to look for these angles on to Call Me. Finally get one there. I love how they've been playing.
Looks like they're trying to end.
Morgan specifically.
Like they're TPing Azir back, so they're trying to go for an end here. Could speed the 3-0.
Yeah, the death timers are long. It's 20 seconds until anybody else is back up. It's only Sajet to try to defend this. The Lucian, who had such a struggle early game, will not be able to hold the line. Team Liquid, it was a messy game number 3, but they make their way onto the Nexus turrets. They will clean sweep Disguise.
Oh, fast LCS day.
Forward, continuing their march towards first stand.
A little blip on the radar in game 3. It got a little messy, but game 1 and game 2 super dominant, and TL at the end of the day,
now I can go to sleep.
In the team fight.
Actually, wait, let me cash out this prediction first.
They get this great engage and they one-shot Call Me, and on the other side, Yam was just confidently walking forward, forcing them to engage on him. He has summoners, flashes back with the protection of Core JJ, and all of a sudden, everything has been lost on both sides of the fight there for DSG.
Okay.
And I love how they use
wow.
the coordination.
The LCS coach stream lasted 2 hours and 21 minutes.
TL,
and that's
right?
it.
Like, we want to see how
that's
well
it. That's like actually insane. That might be the shortest coach stream I've ever done.
And we'll move on in the lower bracket.
I mean, if you're Team Liquid, you should be so happy with the early game.
All right, well,
this game number 3, because it looked like
I want to go lay in my bed now. So
we'll
see you guys tomorrow for Lion versus Fly.
And I'm sure that's where they're going to go. But right now, we're joining Jat on stage for an interview.
Thank you. I'm here with Jan. After a quick 3-0